You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. Ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumping where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, Big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the refs just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever.
All right, shout out to the fam for all things Pelicans. You're now tuned into the Pelican Post Game Report. Much love to the fam. Appreciate y'all. This is it, man. The Pels. That's it on the season, man. The Pelicans finished the season, fam. They finished the season.
Q. The season not over.
It is definitely over, DC.
No. We still got the couple of weeks after the season where we can see Willie Green get fired. Yay. We got one more last thing to do this season.
Okay, all right. DC's in the building. He's very optimistic. All right.
The off season don't start till when till June, man. The off season don't start till June.
Well, I'm just thinking, man.
I'm got some time, bro.
Well, DC, I've been kind of in ready for this for a while, my brother. So it's good to see. The Pelicans lose this one 115-100, man. They finished the season 21-61, 14-27. We know we're waiting for the post game broadcast. Where Willie Green got the save.
We know what he gonna say.
I'm proud of everybody. Thank
you know what?
Guys.
All right, let's let him have it because this is the last time we got to hear this shit, fam.
Indeed,
I'm gonna really try to pay attention this time, Q.
Yes, indeed, man, because this might be the thing. And this is Fletcher Mackel right here. Big change for the Pelicans over the next few days. Yeah. From Fear the Brown to follow up with Shamit Dua's reporting. There's also been chatter in league circles about the NBA executive Joe Dumars. See that man returning to Louisiana. Dumars
they ain't got a good idea unless we get some.
DC, man, goddamn, bro. And we're not going
to let's shoot for Bob Myers, and then hopefully we can fall into Joe Dumars. We need to start speaking of Bob Myers, man.
My goodness, we can't, boy. We will not get credit for this. We will not get. Right? I constantly talked about how they screwed that up, and look. They're going back to Joe Dumars returning to Louisiana. This is what they said. Good morning. Over the past week, noise has been steadily getting louder in league circles that David Griffin's time in New Orleans is coming to an end. I won't say this is a foregone conclusion, but this is the loudest I've ever have seen it or heard it. This is Shamit from Fear the Brown. So shout out to Shamit. And this is interesting because this is something, DC, we talked about ad nauseum on this channel. We spoke exclusively about how the Pelicans needed to fire David Griffin. He's had 6 years or 7 years. How long? It's been a long ass time.
For him to be in. Graham should have got him out of here, bro.
Right. So I mean, finally we starting to hear this. You can see this report from Bleacher Report. Pelicans reportedly bracing for David Griffin exit. Willie Green status is tenuous. Willie Green need to be in the street. Speaking of Willie Green, here is him and his nose right now on the broadcast.
I'm just starting
with that. Say, Willie.
Thankful for everything that they poured into this.
Yeah.
Everything that our staff poured into this.
Okay.
Character with our whole entire group. It was
there go that proud
even through adversity and challenges this season. I'm extremely blessed that I was I can come into a building and still have joy going into that building.
Oh shit!
Sound like dog.
It's not the season we wanted.
He's blessed and still have joy.
We're all disappointed, and we'll take some time to reflect and see how we can be better. Honestly, how we can improve. But I'm really grateful for the opportunity and grateful to get after it with this group.
Yeah, he getting fired. Grateful for the opportunity.
Different starting lineups, 25 different players. Have you ever experienced a season like this where you've had so many injuries?
I haven't. I just said that to
your first season was like this.
That I've never experienced this many games missed because of injuries, this many losses because of injuries, in terms of losing some of our players like we have, and
because of injuries.
That's the challenging part. That's the adversity that we faced all year.
I know you haven't had a chance to assess the season yet, but do you have like a quick just thoughts on how you did as a coach this season?
Yeah, I fucked up.
I didn't do great. I have to take full ownership in where we are right now as a team.
Okay.
I don't know how much I'm gonna go into that, but I'll go back and reflect. And I was beating myself up every game, trying to figure out how to get us competing and playing at the highest level that we can play. And we failed. I failed, and I know that failure is a part of success. And so, with the failure, this will be time that I take and reflect and see where we can improve.
I mean, with so many changes to the lineup, so many guys in and out, are there any particular lessons that you can take from this experience? What it was like going through this, what it took to kind of get through it day in and day out, knowing that you really didn't know who was going to be in, who was out, who was hurt, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just staying steady. Sometimes you're going to get hit with some storms. Sometimes you get hit with things that you can't control. And it's easy to lash out at people and, to start behaving in a way that nobody wants to be around you. But I thought our entire group tried to stay as steady as we could and try to stay on course. And again, we didn't have the season that we wanted to have. But there's also some positives that we're going to take from this.
And, through the first 3 years of your coaching career, the story was, just that steady progress, the wins increase each year. And then to take a step back like this, obviously a lot of it, is out of your control. But I guess what does the path forward look like after, taking this much of a step back this season?
Well, it's going to take some time, number one, and try to do some self-reflection, and we'll start getting together at some point and talking about what it looks like to move forward, to take a step.
And what it looked like to move.
And
we'll look at some houses.
It's going to start with us being healthy as a team and looking at our roster. I mean, just trying to figure out how we can be better moving forward. We don't want to have a season like this again.
And
we won't.
I'll be the first one to bring his name up.
We won't.
Zion and what he was able to do this season. What was kind of your assessment?
Don't worry about it.
Really. Obviously, the hamstring took away a big chunk of the season, but just seeing what he was able to do once he came back, I guess, what's your assessment of what he was able to do this season?
Yeah, that was the positives. Is when we had our guys healthy, a lot of them performed at a high level on the floor, included. But we just didn't get a chance to see our full roster one time this season. And that's the disappointing part. But the positives is we saw improvements with Trey. We saw Zion take more steps in the right direction when he was on the floor. We got incredible play from some of our young guys. Missy was fantastic this season. We got a chance to see Antonio Reeves play more. Jose was rock solid for us again. We missed her a good portion of the season. He's so key to what we're trying to do on both ends of the floor. So those are the things that we'll start talking about, reflect on, and see how we can move forward in the right direction.
One of the biggest things that's kind of lingered over this team the last couple of years is a question about identity and how is this team going to play? Is that one of the things that you really want to hone in on this offseason and understand, regardless of who's on the roster, what Pelicans basketball really means?
Well, I think if we reevaluate the last 3 seasons before this season, we had an identity, and we were top 10 in defense. And the last, about a third season, we were right there at almost top 10 in offense. So we started with our ability to guard, size. We had, wings, rebound the ball. And that's, I believe we have to move forward with that identity. And those will be some talks that we have this summer and figure out how we can continue to take steps in the right direction again.
I know it's not something where you want to put it on the players who came in, but a big part of the defense, you lost a lot of your top defenders in the offseason. Do you think maybe there was an underestimation of what their loss on the defensive end would be for the total roster?
Well, I think it was a combination of losing some of those key guys and then not having our full roster on the floor. And that's just that. We didn't get a chance
to have nothing to do with bad coaching
at the same time. And then we could have truly assessed and evaluated, are we a good defensive team or not?
I tried, Q. I was
those are the areas that I leave the arena and really
he started off,
kind of get on myself about just how to be better defensively, how to rebound the ball,
how to be better as a
steps on the floor. And that's the challenge of it. That's the area that we can get better.
When you have this kind of frustrating season, does it put a strain on the relationship with the front office, or is it still strong?
Man, ask me that question.
This offseason, do you know where you stand in the organization, or is that something to be determined?
Right now, it's, it wasn't a strain at all. But, when you go through challenging seasons, it's a challenge for everybody, not just me. It's a challenge for everybody that's involved. And for me, I have compassion for all of us. All of us felt that. Everybody tried to do their job and do their part to help this team be better. And we didn't get there this season.
Enjoy.
You mentioned, obviously, some of the tough parts of this year.
Losing.
For you, is there any one moment that stands out? And then who did you turn to maybe in those moments to try to stay level-headed like you mentioned?
No, it's not one moment that stood out more than any other moment. It just collectively as a whole, the challenges started from the first, even before the first game, training camp, losing Trey, and then DeJounte, and it kind of, steamrolled from there. But I turned to who I always turn to. Number one is God. Just stay, continuously praying about how to lead in the right direction, how to be a servant leader, my family, and I have some mentors that I talk to as you navigate through this.
And to, I guess, his question, do you have any worries or concerns about job security going into this offseason?
There's always pressure in these positions,
honestly,
no matter who you are. I mean, you guys are looking around the league. There's coaches that have won championships and they're not there anymore. And so
what that means,
that's always going to be there. And that's why we get into this. We get into this for the pressure of it, the competitiveness of it. We know that these jobs are volatile. I haven't had any discussion, any talks yet on what that looks like for me. And so I don't know if worry is the right word to use, but you always want to go out and do your best because you can be replaced. And so it's one of the reasons that
don't worry about it.
I continue to approach it with gratitude. Every time you get an opportunity to walk into an NBA building and be a part of the NBA team, it's a true blessing.
Right. And you had yours, so it's time to go.
Does it feel different in the coaching community now?
You had yours, it's time to go.
Teams that are back losing their job this season.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happens with every organization and why they come to those decisions, but I do know there's more. It feels like there's more eyeballs on sports in general.
Thank you. I lied, bro.
Social media platform allows.
I said I was going to pay attention to his whole speech.
More access to fans. We've added the gambling piece to it.
And so
with all that, it's definitely been a position that is a vulnerable position. Like you can be replaced, but I think it's even more now with all the eyeballs.
That's always been the case. What you talking about, brother? You don't win, you get the hell out of Dodge, bro. That's the bottom line, bro. Talking about.
You can't be replaced. You will be replaced.
I think that's important. You try to look at the body of work. But I didn't give myself this job. And
now you just
I had to be chosen for this position, and I'm grateful to be chosen. And like I said, I haven't had any talks, so this is just me answering you guys' questions. But I'm looking forward to the next challenge ahead.
Well, you talked about how you beat yourself up after a lot of games, right? Trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So
what did you learn about this?
I can see Zion got beat up a bunch of games, but
like I said it before, the biggest thing is to try to stay steady and go back to, just continue to teach. Continue to teach.
What the Coach Willie?
Pick a few concepts every day, but be the same that I was if we won.
And tell them to figure it out.
And if we lose, I'm the same. I'm trying to be pretty much the same person every day, so our group understands who I am. And there's some days I'm a little bit more amped up. Some days that I might be a little bit more calm, but for the most part, just try to stay steady, try to teach, try to help this group grow, and that's pretty much the recipe.
Do you feel like this season helped you become a better coach?
Absolutely, and I say that, and I'm gonna go evaluate and look at myself in the mirror and see where I can be better. But absolutely, I feel like it's gonna help me in the long run.
Yeah, when you become the next coach of somebody else's team, that'll be good. Sorry, you got to go, brother. I'm tired of this.
Jared, you said he about to cry.
I feel like I'm making strides.
Got to go.
Across the board, but
you say to make a stride.
Going through some difficult seasons, it definitely makes you stronger. Gives me more opportunities to teach and grow and learn and figure out who I am as I go through this as a coach. But across the board, I feel like I'm not there. I'm striving to be the best coach that I can be, and you got to go through some triumphs, but you also got to go through some difficulties.
Really, all you do is go through triumphs and difficulties. That's all you do.
How important will his continued progression be for the future of this franchise and kind of stepping into a new role?
It's going to be extremely important. I thought Trey did a really good job of elevating his game in the absence of BI, and there was a lot of guys not on the floor at times, and he'll continue to learn what that role is going to be like, continue to attack it. He's a excellent young man, so there hasn't been any issues with him, receiving coaching and stepping on the floor and giving his best. But we're all proud of some of the steps that he's taken, and I think that's some of the beauty in this, is that we didn't have the wins and the results, but we definitely saw some guys take some steps forward.
When you look at the young guys and going into this offseason, particularly the rookie class, in planning for them and their next steps, how much have you already put together for them and what you want them to accomplish in getting prepared for that next season?
Yeah, we've already had some really good talks with the coaching staff, with performance. But we'll have some
bring out the Sandman next
hone in on what we do want this to look like for those guys as we move forward. And so we're all proud of them, but there's definitely some growth areas that we can attack this summer.
Yeah. Outside of player changes and things
like this, the one time he was going
is there
pull all the bullshit veneer off and just
you have to do
something real
next season? Obviously, fixing the
defense. Keep the company man talking to him.
But is there something that you saw?
You see the man? That's the company man, dude.
Yes, I have, but
I saw
again,
Q when he was asking if Willie Green get let go by the Pelicans,
finishing the season,
will we bring him back to Phoenix? And everybody
try to be careful and
yes,
jumping out there.
Yes, I don't see
talking about all the things that I'm going to do or change. I don't know.
We might get to see this shit crash and burn again.
We know we had some bright spots.
I'm good with him going, brother. He can go.
Phoenix people,
for me, it's smart to take some time, decompress a bit, continue to talk through it, and then come up with a plan of attack.
And be joyous.
Yeah. All they would have had to give us back is like some snowballs or some shit. It wouldn't even been nice.
You guys really worked together in the offseason, but you got challenged by Trey or DeJounte all their injuries. So how can this group kind of take that step forward? They won't be able to work together like a full healthy roster.
Well, there may be some times where we can get our guys together for some mini camp sort of opportunities. And Trey and Herb will be able to be present. Their presence
premature in the
means
future,
a lot to this group. Two guys that kind of started this trajectory of putting together winning seasons. So I agree. Those are key moments for us, and we'll try to have some of those this summer.
There's always like a new trend every season amongst the league. Last season, I think there's a lot of talk about Celtics are taking so many threes, doing all this stuff. This season, you're seeing such an increase in double big lineups. Bigs are back, right? You guys experimented with some of these double big lineups. Just how would you guys rate yourself as an organization, or just maybe your staff in terms of identifying what's working well in the NBA and kind of shaping your team to match that, or finding the advantages your team might have and maybe pushing on your own trend?
Yeah, I thought we were trending in the right direction, and then this season, call it what you want, injuries, not being able to live up to the results that we wanted as a group. We didn't get there this season, but I thought we were trending in the right direction. So we'll keep looking at it. The NBA is always a revolving door. There's always changes, and we want to make sure that we, number one, again, focus on our identity, but then
what identity?
Those areas, those concepts, and see what works for us.
The one from the last 2 years he talked about.
All right, thank y'all. Appreciate you.
Hey, fuck
all right, Willie. All right, Willie, we're going to sound the alarm for Willie because this is on the way for Willie Green.
And I hope his coaching career goes just like that movie where they song in this new part.
Don't you come back no more, no more, no more. Hit the road.
Ambulance!
What you say?
I see you, boy.
I got some Rick Charles on, boy.
Don't you come back no more.
Oh, my goodness, man. That was Willie Green. Hopefully for the last time. DC, of course, this is a game. Shout out to the
hopefully. I ain't got no goddamn hope. It's over.
Hopefully. Over. Huh?
And they gonna be a goddamn riot. They bring Willie Green back next. Nobody ain't going for that shit, man.
It's over, huh?
They can't bring him back. I mean, David Griffin hanging on by a thread. Hopefully David Griffin is gone because we don't know how that's gonna go.
You check me on
Green is out of here.
You checked me on the hopium just a moment ago, brother. Yeah. Don't you start saying it, brother.
You go ahead and fix that shit, though. You show David Griffin go? He out of here, IQ.
I don't, bro. Hey, listen. I told y'all it'll be. I have zero faith in the Pelicans organization, but I've said over and over again, they listen to these shows. Now, listen, there's two things, DC, I want to comment about Willie Green's presser that just went off. Number one, when they asked him about him and his stuff going into the future, Willie Green talked about how the people listening to the games, they have the social media, talked about the presence of social media and people and shows and stuff like that having an impact, and being that it is more critical or it's more serious, or however the term, more competitive, I guess, for lack of better terms, than what it's ever been. It's always been competitive. A lot of these other teams doing what they're doing, but like I said,
he came here from high to high from the spotlight, Q. That's why he's saying that.
Bro, listen, to Malone getting canned in Denver after winning the championship 2 years ago. Jenkins in Memphis, both of those guys were all-time the greatest, they're the most winningest coaches of both franchises getting canned within 2 weeks of the end of the season. So that put pressure on the Pelicans as an organization to do something. Whether I thought it would be enough to can Willie Green, I did not think it would be enough to get David Griffin, because of the fact that David Griffin has insulated himself to a degree. And me personally, I didn't think the Pelicans would be astute enough to get rid of both of them at the same time, because Willie Green obviously said some stuff, and that's number one. Number two, when asked about his coaching, Willie Green said that he had improved across the board in terms of his coaching, which makes Willie Green totally delusional. Willie Green, you have not improved this year, sir. You have not improved. You say the same thing every damn game, whether they win, lose, or draw. Your strategy in terms of adjustments in the game suck. You countlessly over games with the Pelicans, and this was before they started tanking. when they actually had Trey Murphy, Zion Williamson, they had enough people to win games. Willie Green will make curious decisions in terms of his lineups, pulling out hot players at the time to put in people that were cold, or you need an offensive player, he'll pull it out to put a defensive player and will stall his own development. He'll stall out the team. His in-time game adjustments it sucks. Okay, let's be honest with you. His in-time, he's not a good strategist in terms, he gets out-coached in terms of it. Now, when the Pelicans handle business because of talent, they blow past these teams. It's easy to win those games. But when it comes down for you to coach, like it showed the 0-27 clutch time minutes, that's coaching. Pelicans would get down, they can't get back. Then you had countless games this season where the Pelicans had their talent and would lose, get just karate chopped in the third quarter or the fourth quarter. It was always some quarter where they just get destroyed in the quarter and end up contributing to them losing the game. That's coaching. That also ties into preparation. Having a team ready to play, understanding what lineups you did. Willie Green did not establish an identity for the Pelicans. He was supposed to be a defensive-minded coach. He did not establish a defensive-minded approach for the Pelicans. There were countless communication issues among the defense. These guys don't communicate well. It leads to guys overcommitting on shooters, leaving guys wide open for easy passes, backdoor cuts, all this kind of stuff. Just undisciplined, turning the ball over, that kind of stuff. It just didn't fit. And that's before the injuries came in. And of course, when they asked him about the failure of the season, the first thing he did was pivot to injuries and didn't say a damn thing about his shitty coaching. So that's what I'm saying, man. That's just a stale corporate point that we're not going for. They've been saying that for 4 or 5 years. Injuries and stuff. At some point, you got to cut it off. You either improve and fix the injury situation or shut the hell up about it. So in the end, Willie Green is more than likely going to get chopped down. We showed the report today about what Sean McDougal was talking about, which is, if you didn't hear this, let me put this on screen.
That's Shan Medulla, man. Shan Medulla be on what is it, Fox? On one of them, he be doing a sports show on the news.
So
he got some inside information. I don't think he bullshitting.
So no doubt about it. But hold on, before I get to that, DC, let me do this right. Michael, shout out to you, bro. Thank you for the super chat, man. Says Willie talking like he will be. Indeed, they were asking him questions like he was going to be here next year. Thank you, brother.
Say thank you very much. Picking me up, bringing me back to this world.
All right, shout out.
Didn't Willie use a word like hopefully or something when referring to next year?
I don't know.
At the beginning of that interview, he sounded like he getting fired, man. He was talking about he's blessed and grateful to still be able to show up with joy in the beginning.
Right.
Man, that's what people say when they know they about to get let go.
But DC did he reiterate in that same interview that nobody talked to him about nothing. He said that a couple of times about it. But also, before we get into this,
a lot of times that go like that. That don't mean nothing. You know how people handle business.
Okay.
Them situations is settled before they ever come talk to you about anything. Then they might BS him like they're going to keep him while they still trying to weigh their options and then just cut the cord. You don't know.
All right, let's pivot to Jose Alvarado. He's on the mic right now.
So much adversity, injuries, losses. I tried, after the game was over, I just tried not to let it ruin the stuff that it was positive for us. It was a fun locker room. We had a whole bunch of laughs and, something that we got to improve on is getting wins and stuff like that. But, we had a lot of things to learn from, on and off the court. Obviously, like you said, it's not the season we want, but you can't let it discipline or affect the stuff that you did learn from.
And obviously, last year, y'all getting the 49 wins and making the playoffs, that felt like something that was built up over, the first few years when y'all got here. And a lot of those guys are gone now, right? With B.I. Naj, a lot of those JV, a lot of those guys are gone. What do you think it's going to take to kind of get back to that point where y'all can win at that level with some of these new faces in the building?
Injuries. That's the most important thing. But do I think we got the guys that we could win with?
Coaching, bro. Coaching.
We got to have everybody injured. Trey Murphy got hurt. Herb Jones, I don't know how many games he played, 20 maybe, if that. The DJ, Deontay Murray, CJ. I don't know what we're going to go on. Zion, I don't know what we got going on following next year. But if that same group comes back, I'm I'm fine. I feel like if we healthy, we be in the great situations, and you know, yeah, that's all I could really say about that.
What do you think of just the way Willie kind of handled this season with so many guys in and out of the lineup and just kind of constant turmoil with the roster?
I mean, put yourself in his shoes.
No.
You know, he got guys that he's getting to know too as well, and then guys that he got to put confidence in themselves because they're not in the situation they usually not in, and then he gotta build that offer. So I think he handled it as best that he could handle it. But I mean, I think he handled it actually pretty well. I'm lying because I lose my shit. He ain't lose his shit. Nah, for real. I mean, I don't know about him, but I hear all the noise and all the bullshit. And this is not me just being protective of a coach that took a chance on me, but it
That's
did
exactly what you be
come
coming
from
with.
a place that this is coming from a place that I hear a lot of shit, but put yourself in his shoes. It's tough. Your best player gets injured, then your best defender gets injured, then your best outcoming player get injured, then one of your players get traded, then your point guard gets injured. Now you gotta rely on people that that was capable of, and he put that confidence. But then he could believe in so much that you gotta believe in yourself too. And then guys like me running plays and shooting threes that not saying I can't do it, but I'm doing it. But it's just different. It's just a different motive and different situation. I mean, like I said, I think he handled it as well as best he can. You gotta put yourself in his shoes and figure it out.
And just what's your
Figure it out.
assessment of your season?
We love you, Jose.
got
Yeah,
very
Jose, get the hell
strong
out of here with that, bro. We ain't hearing that bullshit you talking about, man. We love you, but
being a leader for some of
miss
these
me with the
guys.
biased
How
player
would you
act, man.
assess just what this season has been like for you?
Funky show, man. I'm not gonna lie. Personally, man, I think I could do so much better, obviously, right? But I can't take away the shit the crap that I did good. Like, I really can't take away that. Like, I was shooting at a high clip when I needed to shoot at a high clip. Then I got in a situation that, Jose, the shots that you usually turn down and drive and go kick at somebody, you might have to shoot that one. And that's the shots that I, stuff that I needed to prove on, and that's something I'm doing. But if you tell me I'm coming in, I'm going in with a good mindset. I mean, did I play some games like crap? Yeah, hell yeah. I take full of responsibility. Like today, I shot pretty bad, but it's not gonna take a fact that when I did needed to shoot well, I did. And I think I was being that point guard what the team needed when everyone was here. And yeah, I'm just gonna run off that. The summertime, I'm gonna get in shape. I'm gonna get my body ready for whatever is coming next year. Either that's playing a lot of minutes or either not playing a lot of minutes, but I'm gonna make sure my body's healthy to take enough load, whatever they throw at me. But man, I just can't wait to all the faces and all the noises that's out there, and then I come back and be a person that I know I could be.
To that point, obviously you playing tonight. A lot of the guys sat. Like, how important was it for you to like finish this season strong and potentially the right way, I guess? And because it seems like the fans really appreciate like you being out here on like a night like this.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out there whenever I could do for the fans. For me personally, I mean the fans are the best things. Coming home and they don't gotta cheer for me or make noise when they hear say my name. Like, the season ain't going as well as they want it to go well as well either. So for them to just do that, and it just shows that they care about just people that's going out there is gonna play hard. And that's something that we gotta keep doing and keep building on. And this team gotta just build off that. The energy is gonna be contagious. So next year, bring the same energy, please. At least for me too. But yeah, I mean, it was important for me just to go out there and finish strong. Very up and down with me if I wanted to play or not. But man, my role is never guaranteed. Next year I gotta come in and fight and do the same thing and figure out what was my role. Am I in the rotation or am I not in the rotation? But in my mind, I'm coming to be in a rotation.
You mentioned this locker room being a fun locker room, and a lot of times when a team loses 60 plus games, a locker room can fracture. You can hear about different guys maybe splitting. Half a group feels this way, half the group feels that way, but it's never seemed like y'all didn't like each other. Y'all have always seemed like y'all have had good vibes and a good mood to you. Why do you feel like this locker room is maybe different from some others that has been witnessed in the NBA in the past?
That's a good question. Because we did mess with each other. I mean, I mess with everybody now. I got love for I see them more than I see my family. So, yeah, did we fight? Yeah, but like that's brothers. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we just didn't figure out on the court in the sense of every day it was new. It was a new somebody new. You know, every day it was something that Jose, you gotta do this, or every day was like somebody gotta do something different that we was comfortable with. Of like I said, from what our originally role was. So it's it was just not a good match. And I guess you should say, but we never hated on each other. We never came back. Even if we did have bad energy, I give it to CJ. Always being a professional, being a pro, and kept the locker room and said it's a basketball game at the end of the day and keep on improving. And, that's something CJ really did really well. And, just hanging in there.
It's obvious that injuries played the biggest part, right, in derailing this season. But I'm curious, how much do you think that the trades of and seeing Najee, JV, Dice, and Nance all leave affected the team, right? Especially from a defensive standpoint.
I mean, Dyson might win Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, you miss those guys tremendously. Obviously, I talk to Najee every day. He's having a hell of a year too. Just building off of what he, here. But it could have went the other way too. It's just something. That's just how basketball grows. Basketball goes. Do we miss them? Yeah. But who knows if the same situation would have been if they was here or not. Did we win a lot of more games? Yeah. But also the injury took a lot of part. We didn't have as much injuries back then when they was here, but we had a lot of injuries this year. So every season is a little different. But yeah, we missed those guys for sure. Yeah. I mean, those are the big culture part of that team. But this is why this game is about opportunities, and guys got to step up and take the advantage of the missing piece.
Do you feel like players after a season like this might need to brace themselves for changes or a shakeup either in the front office or the staff or even on the roster, just because of the way this business has been?
They don't let us know.
Some winning coaches being let go.
He gonna Jeff Willis
got traded. Better be prepared. You don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, losing season 2, but yeah, you just got to go in there and prepare yourself for bad news, good news, different news, whatever you got to do. You got to prepare yourself because it is a business at the end of the day, and you got to win games, and that's what this whole game is about.
Trio, you train her, right? Y'all coming in together, y'all being the young guys, exceeding expectations. And now, as you kind of look forward to what it's going to be like in the future, how big is it going to be for y'all? As well as it sounds to kind of be the vets in the locker room, the stabilizing force for this franchise as you kind of prepare for uncertain future.
Now it's not more like, damn, they really good. It's more like they better get the job done. Now is Trey Murphy got paid to be the guy, and which he's going to be the guy. Herb not just put himself in a situation of being first team for no reason. He got to come in and be the same, defensive player of the year or defense first team. Me, got to just continue improving and not be just the role guy sometimes. I put myself in a shoe that coach and the organization gave me a chance to show that I could do more than just, sometimes make a shot. We trust you. You got to do that, because if you don't, all that was, they were so good, this came in good, it means nothing. You got to go win games. So me, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, me, those three, let's go win games, and let's do what we were supposed to be doing this whole time.
We talked about coming to maybe next season, fighting for a spot, but it stands to reason that you probably will have an expanded role given the Jonte Murray's Achilles injury, not knowing he's going to come back. So just kind of something, where's your mental preparation look like heading to next season, knowing that your role will probably still be expanded?
I want them to trust me. I want them to come in and trust them that I can hold it down until he comes back. And that's something I'm going into the summertime. If I have Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, and Zion, or whoever's here in the sense of CJ on a wing of me, I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine regardless. I think my mindset is coming in. I think they need a point guard. I'm right here, but they might think that. and I hope they do. But I'll make sure when I come in, they know that. That's the difference. That they like we could trust him. That's the thing. Can we trust him? Can we trust him? Because I think one thing this year, our mental lap was a big thing for me, and that's something I'm going to improve on, and keep on growing. But I'm gonna take that step. Like I said, I'm gonna prepare my body for whatever it is. 20 minutes, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, but come in and show that you got a point guard.
What are some positives you would take out of this season? Like whether it's getting through adversity, maybe ease growth. Some of the young guys that we didn't expect to get minutes, maybe they earned rotation minutes for next year.
Yeah, that's the thing we gotta look forward to. A season like this, you let the guys grow. You let those Eves, Tone, KB, you let those guys show that they able, to stay here and play. And Eve did a hell of a job. Like, to be honest, when I first saw Eve, I'm like, oh hell no. But then when he came in, I was like, oh hell yeah. Like he's good. He improved. He showed that he could play. He showed that he could be our starting center. We all need work, yeah, and that's something he's gonna improve though. Like, I'm pretty sure the front or whoever's gonna tell him what he needs to improve on, and then he comes back and do what he needs to do. He's gonna be fine. Everybody's gonna be, all the young guys is gonna be just fine.
Thanks for
Appreciate you, bro.
I've been good. Good summer.
All right, DC, thoughts on what you heard from Jose Alvarado, brother?
First off, man, I didn't get a chance to say it earlier. Just RIP to Karen Lacey. Just wanted
Correct.
to say that at some point during the show. Young brother that had a lot of promise and potential to get on the right track and fix his life, but won't get the opportunity to due to unfortunate circumstances. So
get a little closer to your mic, DC, so we can hear you clearer, bro.
I was just saying RIP to him and condolences to his family, man.
Right.
But Jose, typical kind of company man talk. I'm glad he's looking at the situation and he's feeling the fire, because a lot of times when coaches get fired, players start getting moved around and fired as well, cut, traded, what have you. So he's talking about going in the off season and preparing to be our starting point guard, and that's kind of the mindset you want Jose to be in. Not really ecstatic about put yourself in his shoes, is Willie Green talk, but in one way I don't like it, and in another way, it's a little admirable in a way for him to stand up and step up for his guy that is his coach. He's still on the ship, even though it's a sinking ship. And he ain't jumping off just because it's going down, regardless of how we might view it and, living in the land of truth. But, sometimes you're on a losing team, man, and loyalty might take over
common sense.
Logic. Yeah. So, I ain't got no problems with what Jose said. Shout out to him for standing 10 toes down on what he believes in. I have seen an improvement, with him this season. His game definitely did grow. I don't know where Jose's ceiling would be. I don't think it's ever a perennial like all-star, or I think he could one day reach being a quality starter in the league. I don't know if that's going to be for us though, but he definitely has shown that every turn he can continue to improve and grow his skill set. Never been a horrible shooter, but this year to me, he did some of his best shooting, and he kind of took on the role of being a full-time point guard, and his facilitation duties, weren't bad as well. A lot of times Jose came in and provided an excellent spark from the point guard position with the facilitation, but there's times where he's not DeJounte. So there's times where you're like, man, it just ain't happening with Jose right now, and the unit we got out there, and him and the CJ lineup ain't looking the best. But I think we got something in Jose. We got him here for another year on a reasonable contract. Not sure what's gonna happen after that, because the Pels done themselves a doozy with the contracts that they have and what they got on their books. CJ will free up some money, but when you get rid of CJ and free up some money, I mean, are you gonna go big game hunting, or we're gonna use that money to constantly flow in and out quality depth pieces, or a viable starter here or there? So we got to see the game plan, but first we got to see who's gonna be in the building. and Jose's still gonna be here. So
you're right. He's still under contract. You're right. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting nonetheless, DC. But yeah, it's regardless or not, it's time for a major swing, man, to happen. When you win 21 games in a season, and the team has been dealing with injuries, not just for this year. A lot of these people got short term memory loss or something going on.
Been dealing with injuries the whole David Griffin tenure.
The whole thing, man, for his whole tenure. So that means that you didn't do what you were supposed to do to build a competent staff to absorb the injuries. Because I don't hear that shit from Boston. I don't hear that from OKC. I don't hear from these other teams that are playing at a high level of basketball, but yet and still every year is the Pelicans, and we supposed to throw something in the water. Ain't nothing in the water. That's preparation and how you handle things, man. These people, whatever's in the water in Boston's in the water in New Orleans, or in the air or whatever, the curse, all that simple-minded shit, man. This is preparation, and you got to do the right thing. David Griffin didn't do what he was supposed to do in terms of his building his team, and he had 6 years. 6 years, 2 playoffs, man. Missed me with that. Go ahead, DC.
Oh, I was just saying, like you said, it ain't nothing in the water. Like you got all these other teams. Like how can LSU do it? How can Tulane do it? If it's something in the water. What about UNO? Like are they whole lineups getting wiped out?
No.
And these ain't even professionals. These are collegiate athletes, semi-professionals. They on the level of getting there. So it's like you start looking around. It's like, oh man, it must be something in New Orleans and they curse because the Pelicans and the Saints. Well, look around. What about all the high school teams that play in the Superdome? Have y'all ever seen in the state championship for football in high school? They just playing and on both sides, just the whole starting lineup just go out during the championship game. You know what I'm saying? Because of the curse. You know what I'm saying? That is definitely crazy. David Griffin ain't do what needed to be done. It was obvious. Don't know if maybe what he wanted to do, Miss Griffin didn't want to pay all that money because he seemed to be a little flamboyant, if you know what I mean.
What you mean, DC? What you mean flamboyant? What you mean he was flamboyant? What you mean?
What flamboyant mean to you?
He was flashy. Flashy, is that what you mean? Flamboyant?
Yeah, if by flashy I mean playing the piano for somebody at like 1 a.m. for another man.
Okay, DC, that's I got you.
There you go. But I don't know if he tried to go over the top. You know what I'm saying? He wanted like sequence and stuff on the whole thing, and he wanted all razzle dazzle. That's better words for you, Q.
You turn that boy into what's the name? Into Liberace, boy.
Liberace or Versace?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay, all right. There's levels to this shit. I got you now.
Oh yeah, man. If you know, you know. But yeah. So regardless of what Miss Benson allowed him to have, or how big she allowed that purse to be open, he had more than enough ability to be able to fix, injury issues in a matter of 6 years. And the thing I really want to say before we go ahead and move on, Willie Green getting up there talking about he's never experienced quite the injuries like this. Man, we had 2 to 3 other injury-riddled seasons. What are you talking about? We had the same low-level results. We won a few more games, so I guess maybe he not looking at it like that because he was happy with that because we got, maybe 10, 12 games under 500. That was an accomplishment for Willie or something. I don't know. But we had other seasons where, Zion was hurt. Brandon Ingram was hurt. In and out. You got Trey Murphy hurt. Herb hurt. You got, who else was hurt, man? Dyson Daniel missing time. What are they talking about? This shit is the norm. Like last year, we had a healthy year, and let's say Zion's rookie year, the team was relatively healthy. Stan Van Gundy year was relatively healthy. The Willie Green era, other than last year, was riddled with a bunch of different injuries. CJ getting collapsed lungs left and right and all type of shit. Somebody was always missing time. And a lot of time they start missing time together. One fall and the other fall. And Jonas Valanciunas was our one go-to. And he was the main person, in my opinion, why a lot of those seasons didn't look like shit. Because when a lot of people went down, you could always kind of have Jonas be. They didn't use him like a number one guy, but when everybody got hurt, he definitely was like a quality number two guy. And they kind of flowed a lot of things through him. And you could depend on Jonas, man. Jonas getting you double doubles every time somebody getting hurt, 20 points plus. Some nights, but definitely gonna be 18 every night. When you give him his touches. So I don't know what the hell Willie talking about and this whole injury shit. That's the one thing I love about this being over, Q. I'm sick of hearing about but the injuries. And we got two franchises in New Orleans running the same game.
That's all they do all the time, and it would be allowed and accepted if it was an isolated season or even two. We talking about over 4 years of this thing going over and over again. Injury all the time. I don't want to hear it anymore. The Saints said that for the last 3 years. It's a way of justifying failure so these dudes can keep their jobs. If you're a decision maker and because injuries just didn't pop up on you, like matter of fact, David Griffin talked about him. He admitted to saying that he didn't build the team correctly. Maybe I didn't build the team correctly. We got to build it stronger. I'm like, you were 6 years in and you just said that? We've been saying that.
Just figuring that out?
Figuring that out. We've been saying that for over 5 years now. Well over 5 years about this team. You have to be constructed a certain way. You got to spend the money on the medical staff. Now, they did get Amy, but that's not it.
Hold up, Big Q.
Got one person.
Marley is up here messing with me, man. It's just water, Marley. The name of the shit is just water.
That's just the container, bro. That's just the container. DC got rum.
I done messed up our advertising dollars, man. We ain't even get paid for that. We ain't promoting no water over here, huh, Q? Because they gonna want to take their check back for this show.
Nah, brother, it's all right, brother. We good.
Just water, Marley. Ain't no rum in here.
Yeah,
ain't got no coconuts.
Hold on, DC. Check out Marley's comment here. Detroit has stuff in the water.
Oh, that's cold. That's cold.
But
that's cold.
That's funny, but that's true. Let's give Marley a round of applause.
It's funny because it's true.
Wow, they got stuff in the water for real, and yet then that's Trajan Langdon.
Yeah, that's the mentality of winners too, man. Winners ain't gonna let nothing stop them, man. It don't matter the circumstances. When you fix the circumstances, they just get better at winning. But they're gonna figure out how to win no matter what.
Right. And that's the whole part. Michael says, good show, fellas. How did Houston come up that quick from the bottom and the Pelicans can't? It's how the team was constructed.
They didn't have any injuries.
Man, listen, that's
what David Griffin to tell you.
That's what he's going to say. And Willie Green, who's the company man, Willie Green, like I said, fam, Willie Green did not improve in his fourth year. Willie Green set up at this press conference a few minutes ago and said that he approved in his coaching across the board. He said that. I said I gave you a breakdown on why I disagree with that. Willie Green did not improve, and it had nothing to do entirely with a lot of the players. The Zion Williamson thing, we didn't have Zion. A lot of that was the Pelicans holding them out, being extra restrictive. We forget that.
Say Q.
Go ahead.
You think Willie was still drinking the Detroit water the
No,
whole time he was coaching?
Hurt. No, because he wasn't.
Well, I mean, the water goes through the too.
DC, I don't know, bro.
A dehydrated person, bro. They ain't gonna be operating at 100% mentally.
Willie goes to the store and he buys the fluoride water. That's what that's
because he could just use the tap water. He go to the store and still get the raw water.
He go gets the fluoridated water. That's the water with the pink label. You ever seen that when you go to the store?
You got the water with the extra fluoride in it.
Man, they got it. It was the pink label.
For my teeth. It's good for my teeth.
I want to say it's the water with the pink label.
They call it that?
Bro, hold on here. Hold on. And
Evian got like a pink label. I know you ain't talking about them, huh?
Water, pink label. Y'all seen it? Put one in the chat if y'all seen water with the pink label.
Fluoridated water. Wow.
It's water. It was with the pink label, and they actually got a baby on front that water on that bottle, if I'm not mistaken. It's kind of, dude. I ain't lying, bro. You ain't seen it in the store, bro. Hold on, let me see. Watch this. Hold on, y'all know I gotta bring it to you. Hold on, let me see. Hold on.
He said they put a baby on front of the water.
Yeah, it's called nursery baby water. Fluoride added. DC, I ain't lying, bro. Yeah, it is right here. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of it.
Baby drinking the water and crying at the same time every time.
You know, look, here it is right here. Look.
With added fluoride. As if the regular fluoride they're already dumping on us from Nazi Germany ain't enough, huh?
Nah, I'm just saying, brother. Truth is truth. But anyway, let's get back. I know, brother. But let's get right
back. Get off topic with that one, bro.
Yeah, we're going to get way off topic. But let's hit this up.
With the baby, man. I'm like, God damn, bro. That's cold-blooded, bro.
Cold-blooded. Pelicans will finish the season, tough season. They fall to OKC 115-100. Finish the season 21-61. That's right. 2-1-6-1 Pelicans on the season. It's over.
Oh, I thought we did this shit already.
No, we didn't, DC, because we had to talk about some other stuff first, but we'll get into it and through it. This is the final stat read of the year, DC, so you should be happy with that, brother. All right, it's brought to you by Wiggins, who scored 28 points on the Pelicans tonight. For the stat read, Pelicans went 35-91 in the final regular season game, 38.5% from the field. They were 7 of 38 from downtown for 18.4%. They went 23 of 30 for almost 77%. In terms of the OKC Thunder, 41 of 91 for almost 42%. They were 9 of 47 from downtown for 19%. They were 24 of 27 from the foul line, almost 89%. They out-rebounded the Pelicans 54 to 47, in which they had 17 offensive rebounds. Pelicans did beat them in assists 22 to 16. Steal game is OKC 8 to 6, 4 all on the blocks. Total turnovers, Pelicans held them down 13, but giving up 17 points versus the Thunder 10, giving up 9. Thunder did win the fast break points 13-9 and beat the Pelicans in points in the paint 60-32. The Pelicans never led in this game, and the lead was at one point as large as 23 for the OKC Thunder. Individual stat read for our Pelicans to finish the season. Top scorer was 20 points from Antonio Reed. In 39 minutes of action, he was 0 of 14. He was 8 of 14 from the field, 0 of 4 from downtown. Finished with 20 points and 6 rebounds. 18 points from Jamal Cain in 28 minutes of action. He finished with 4 rebounds, an assist, and a steal for Jamal Cain. 17 from Lester Quinones in 34 minutes of action. 17.6 rebounds. 5 rebounds, 6 assists for Lester Quinones. We see like that kid. 15 points from Keon Brooks and 6 rebounds for him with 2 assists, 2 steals. 14 from Jose Alvarado to finish the game. 4 assists, 3 rebounds. He had 2 steals in 34 minutes of action. 10 for Jeremiah Robinson Earl to go along with 16 rebounds. He had 5 assists in 33 minutes of action. Alfred Payton in 18 minutes had 3 points, 3 assists, and 2 boards. 3 for Kyler Kelly in 15 minutes. He finished with 3 points and 5 rebounds. And that'll do it for the Pelicans stat read right there. DC, it's over. We have no more previews to talk about in terms of the Pelicans. It's a done data. It's a done deal. It's over with. If Pelicans finish 21 and 61, what say you of this one, bro? Or thoughts on the game or anything?
No thoughts on the game because it's the last game. I was absolutely happy. I sat in front of my TV, joyous as I pretended to watch this nothing game, and did other things. I actually had fun playing with my baby. She didn't watch the shit either. The player stats, I guess I could touch on that a little. Antonio Reeves, is definitely a bright spot. He always leaves his fingerprint on the game when they give him significant minutes in one way or the other. This is one of those games where he had a pretty solid night, man. He had those couple 3-pointers here and there. Just overall intelligent basketball play, and that's how he came out ready because we know he ain't learned none of this shit from Willie Green. So shout out to him, man. Looking forward to see what we can do and how we can utilize him next year and what we can make out of where they put him on the roster. Because I don't know where we would play him because it's almost like him and Jordan Hawkins are competing for the same spot when you really look at it. Like he's a 2 guard. He's like too small to be a 3. His handle's not really there yet, in my opinion, to be a point guard. Even though I think his I thought he hit a couple of threes. He didn't hit any threes. His playmaking ability is, I think, is okay. So he's really weird to see how we gonna be able to utilize him. And then we got Lester Quinones. He gonna get some shots up, bro. Led the team in shots tonight. 17.
I like him, DC. I think he should be kept around, man. I like his game, man.
I like him too. I think. What do you think? We put him on a two-way spot?
Yes.
Yeah, I like him with a two-way spot. I don't know if he's earned a roster spot yet. But judging the Pels and how we be shopping at Dollar General for players, we might have to give him a roster spot. Because he might be one of the only people we could afford after we get a couple other people. So we'll see. So you got Lester Quinones. I love his confidence, man. He willing to go out there and he kind of takes command and he playing like he been on the team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he
6
good. I like
tonight.
that. Right.
He's solid brother.
Fearless player too,
definitely
bro.
Fearless.
Is he aggressive?
Fearless.
I like that guy. I like Quinones. I hope they keep him around, man.
Got to the free throw line. You know what I'm saying?
Shoot the 3 too.
Who else, man? Keon Brooks. He's been doing some solid stuff too. Like what I see from him. That's my other guy I would have with that two-way spot. Lester Quinones and Keon Brooks. Unless you just get somebody awesome out of the draft, and you might have to make a tough decision. I ain't even gonna talk about Jamal Cain. Shit's a waste of time. Get him off the team. I don't care if he scored 18 tonight and all of that.
Damn, DC.
I don't, man. It's just he's been unimpactful all year. Even when they start giving him more minutes, like games earlier, unimpactful. The last week and a half of the season, he started putting up 18, 17. Man, I don't want to hear that shit, man. Too little, too late. But maybe he get on track for somebody else. I don't wish the brother a bad career or nothing. I just don't want him here no more. Been let down too many nights. Thought you could do something. Too many embarrassing plays, in my opinion. You just don't have it, man. I think we can do better. Timu Naji been playing better than him, in my opinion.
Yeah, he has. Yes.
Yeah. I'd rather keep him over Jamal Cain. And Jamal Cain, it ain't like he, no rookie or nothing, a 2-year player. Jamal Cain, I think, is he going on his 4th, 5th year or something like that?
26 years old. He been in the game, bro.
Yeah, he been in the league for a while, man. I'll pass. Jeremiah Robinson Earl had a career high in rebounds, tonight. Thought that was solid. To me, I'm not a big JRE fan. I think this is Willie's guy, and him and Jamal Cain should go with Willie. But I don't know if we still have him under contract. Maybe we could work him in a trade and get something for him. If we do keep him, I wouldn't hate him on the team. He's an effective player, I think, if used the right way and intelligently. But when just the overuse of him from Willie Green, I guess, has traumatized me with JRE. And I just keep seeing him shoot these threes, and his form actually looks pretty good. But his threes rarely ever go in. It's the weirdest shit. It's a pretty shot. You get it, and it's like, oh, that might go in. And it don't never go in, Q. Never. Every once in a while, he might hit one. But it looked good every time. I'm like, how do you keep missing? That is a skill. So, no disrespect to JRE, but if we have other players, he's one of the guys I think, we can move around. I ain't really worried about coming back. I talked about what I wanted from my big men. Backcourt, front court. And he would be probably a casualty if you get somebody like a Miles Turner or whatever. The other cat out of Orlando. Damn, I can't remember his last name right now. But the Wagner, Motaz Wagner, Franz's brother. If some type of way you could finesse him, and you couldn't get Miles Turner, that would be, to me, at the detriment of having to get off a guy like JRE to free up a spot.
Well, it'll be very intriguing, DC, to see. Let me put these up right here. This contract, as we kind of move from that aspect of the show as we recap that and head to the next round. What's next for the Pelicans?
Yeah, I got to be gone at 7, Big Q, just letting you know, bro.
Well, okay, brother, we got you. All right, Pelicans, this is what it is right now with 25-26 active cap situation. Zion Williamson, DeJounte Murray, CJ McCollum, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, Kelly Olynyk, Jordan Hawkins, Jose Alvarado, Misi, Peyton, Brandon Boston, Antonio Reeves, Carlo Mekabic.
Oh yeah, we got Brandon Boston, man. We got some players, man.
And Lester Quinones.
We get like three really good players in there. You know, a starter quality guy, or all-star quality guy, and two really good depth guys at various positions. Q, we might be able to do something next year. The right coach, right situation, and you get hopefully, and we get, let's say we're going to get a quality draft pick. You know, the Pels ain't as bad off as it may seem, as long as David Griffin and Willie Green is out here.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things people looking at is the fact that they're kind of looking at what happens with Willie Green, because a lot of people, include myself and you, believe or know that the joint is, what happens at the head coach level. I think Willie Green and basically, he's just not much of a coach. I mean, we need somebody that's, especially when you see Malone and Taylor Jenkins, these guys are way better than Willie Green, which kind of pivots us to, this article, and we covered this earlier in the broadcast about Sham Abdullah report. There has been chatter in the league circles about NBA executive Joe Dumars returning to Louisiana. Dumars has strong ties to the NOLA ownership and leadership. And this is what was said. Good morning. Over the past week, noise has been steadily getting louder in league circles that David Griffin's time in New Orleans is coming to an end. I won't say this is a foregone conclusion, but this is the loudest I've ever heard it. Shout out to Shamit. And also, just to add to it, the article right here from Bleacher Report, as we jump right into it, Pelicans reportedly bracing for David Griffin's exit. Willie Green's status is tenuous.
Wait. Why did they word it like that? Pelicans bracing for David Griffin, so David Griffin is going to step down? The way it's worded, it don't sound like they firing him.
I don't know why this is the writer.
Why would they word it that way?
I don't know. Let's get into the article. Maybe they give us some insight here. New Orleans Pelicans, mired in a 21-60 season, could be in line for some major changes this offseason, according to NBA reporter Mark Stein. So Mark Stein said, this is our executive vice president of basketball operation, David Griffin's sixth season in charge, and there are some in New Orleans league circles, sources say, who are undeniably bracing for his exit, with head coach Willie Green's status also tenuous. This is what Mark Stein saying. So he's just quoting the title from what Stein is saying. Green's just 148 and 179 in 4 seasons with the Pelicans, leading the team to a pair of playoff appearances, but no series wins. One main point for both men has been the offseason decision to acquire guard DeJounte Murray for Dyson Daniels, EJ Liddell, Cody Zeller, Larry Nance Jr., and a pair of first-round picks. Murray has appeared in 31 games this season, missed 17 games early in the season with a broken hand before a torn right Achilles tendon in his season in late January. As Stein wrote, quote, the pain of Murray's limited availability, meanwhile, was only exacerbated by the rise of Daniels in Atlanta after the Pelicans included him in the Murray deal. Daniels has emerged as a defensive player of the year candidate, and his rise has been the source of tension in the organization this season, with Green facing questions internally about his perceived past preferences for playing pesky guard Jose Alvarado rather than Daniels. Some of New Orleans struggles, and this is Mark Stein reporting now, some of New Orleans struggles this season, of course, has simply been down to terrible luck with injuries and all of that. Well, this is the writer, actually, Timothy Rapple, saying
it's almost like they be listening to our show. Q, didn't we say that we like Jose, but why is Jose playing over Dyson Daniels?
Been saying it for 10 years. We've been talking this for a while. Wow. We ain't ups to this, bro. We've been out here, bro, for a long time. Murray, Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram never shared the floor together as a trio before Ingram was dealt to Toronto in February. Alvarado, Trey Murphy III, and Herbert Jones also suffered significant injuries this season. CJ McCollum was shut down in late March for the remainder of the season due to a bone bruise in his right foot. The direction of the Pelicans going forward and who shapes the future if Griffin and Green find themselves on the hook remains to be seen. The talented but injury-prone Williamson will probably remain the centerpiece of the organization in part because it's hard to imagine any other team giving up the market value in a trade for a player who struggles to stay healthy and has 3 years at $126.3 million remaining on his contract. Winning the lottery would be huge for the Pelicans, obviously, giving them a new franchise cornerstone in Cooper Flagg, but the Pels currently have just a 12.5% chance to do so, while there is a 44.6% chance they fall out of the top 5 and miss out on the top prospects. It's a big summer for New Orleans. The franchise appears to be at a fork in the road, and there remains a lot of doubt about whether the pairing of Griffin and Green will decide which way. Hold on, let me say that again. There remains a lot of doubt about whether the pairing of Griffin and Green will decide which route they go. All right, so that's Timothy Rapp from Bleacher Report, basically talking about what's going on with the Pelicans. Me personally, I like this, DC. I like this because this is something we've been talking about for a while, and listen, 6 years is a long time to be running an organization. To have 2 playoff appearances in 6 years, it's not good. Three for 6 is 50%. That's decent. But all of the stuff that we've been dealing with since David Griffin's been here, not just the losing, but it's how he's run the team, how he's surrounded himself with inexperienced people. He picked this guy to be the general manager. This guy, what's his name? He's never visible, didn't do a press conference all season long. He did these weird secret agreements behind the cover, giving extensions to Willie Green before the season was done, giving himself.
Don't forget his main job, too, because, he's president of basketball operations. He's supposed to be in charge of image. We got the worst image in the league because of him. He messed up at every turn you can mess up at, man.
He did. He
kept
really
trying
did.
To put his hands on everything, and he couldn't do nothing.
That's why he got fired. That's why he tried to build a basketball cult. He did. And like I said, picking up Willie Green, when he got rid of Stan Van Gundy, he pivoted to an inexperienced coach. He puts these people around him that's inexperienced so he can manipulate and control them. And that ultimately going to get him fired. So like I said, I'm happy for the fact that the Pelicans, Dennis Lauscher, the leadership group, because the only one guy above him that could put the can on him, that's 2 people. That's Gail Benson and Dennis Lauscher. And let me tell you something, bro. I've been hitting these people, and the family members, whether it's Saints or Pelicans, have been tearing them up. The media has now jumped on board for the last several years. DC yourself, no, they wasn't talking like that. But I've been talking like this for a very long time, and we've gotten that message out there. I've went at Dennis Lauscher. I went at Gail Benson about these losing teams, all this crap that's going on, these inexperienced morons at the top of the team not knowing what they're doing, and it's time for a change. So it's good if this is indeed true, if Shamadula and Mark Stein are accurate about Joe Dumars coming here to take, because right now Joe Dumars is not in the NBA. As a NBA executive, he works for the league office. So he took a position in the league office.
He collecting data for us.
He in the league office right now. But if the money right, remember the first time they stopped Joe Dumars, because he wanted a VP job. When I tell people this all the time, the VP job was created for Joe Dumars, and they did that when Tom Benson was alive. They was trying to get him there. Until Joe told him then, hey, man, I'm interested. And then when he told him what he wanted, Tom Benson said, oh, no, and then gave the VP job to Dale Demps, and he was the GP and GM. The VP and GM, and he was already the GM. VP job, the highest you could be as a general manager until Tom did that. But now
up there in the skybox sipping daiquiris all the time.
Now can his wife get it right where he failed initially to bring respectability? DC, Joe Dumars comes in and brings respectability as a VP. I know one thing.
He does, but he scared me. He scared me in one area.
Okay, hold on, DC. Let me finish my thought. I want to hear that, because if he's the guy and if you are accepting what they're saying, because I don't know. It'll be too much for me to ask for that the Pelicans will get rid of both David Griffin and Willie Green at the same time. That's almost too much to work.
They copycats, man. Like in Denver showed you. They had to look at Denver and be like, well, damn, Denver did it. I didn't know we could do that. So you know how they are, bro.
All right.
Now, if nobody else did it this year, then you're probably right. But I think seeing Denver do it in the level of winning that they had already achieved, and they were willing to do that, they were like, you know what? Maybe that's not a bad idea. We thought that was going too far. You don't do this, that. But this team won a championship, and look at their standards. We want to get up there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a copycat thing. But with Joe, what scares me though, I'm not saying we the best drafting team, but I just cannot get that thought out of my head of Joe Dumars taking Darko Milicic over Carmelo Anthony. They're completely franchise altering. Not, they definitely would have still won a championship with Carmelo. They probably would have won 2 or 3 more. And then can you imagine that team with Carmelo Anthony? And then they brought on AI later. What would that have looked like? Because we know how AI and Carmelo looked in Denver. So I think Joe can fix a lot of the culture issues. He can definitely bring a winning mentality to our team.
DC up
and we can get rid of these pussy ass ways, that the pussy ass weasel brought here. We can get that out the building, and just the draft aspect of him is where I, wonder, and his ability to, I guess, build something around Zion. I think Joe probably can do it, and I think Zion would actually probably like him. Just all of these old school type guys, to me, is more kind of that feel or the type of people that get through to Zion. He's a new generational player, but he responds well to the old school ways. So I think that that may be a good idea. And then with his connection with guys in Boston, could you imagine Zion being able to chop it up with somebody like Ben Wallace? They just bring Ben Wallace in to talk to him a few times. Just stuff like that. Or get Rasheed Wallace in his ear or something. How that would change Zion's mentality and him as a player. So I think Joe brings a lot of positives to our team in particular. And then the fact that he is really, really, really going to win. Hometown dude, man. He want to see the franchise succeed. First and foremost, even before getting his paper. He want that paper, and I ain't mad at him. But he actually wants to win. He not just coming here to get a cush job. Like, he wants to come here to win and put a winner in his hometown city. Something that he would like watching as well as us. And, putting Joe there, we're going to have that thing that we always talked about, Big Q. The team will finally be a representation of the people. They're going to put players there that embody the type of attitude of the people we have here in New Orleans.
That's how you gain identity, bro. That's how you gain identity.
Because it's a part of who you are. You don't have to. It's not something you have to teach. The type of players that fit what you build in here. And to me, it's it's like them down south guys. I think we already started doing it when we were looking for a lot of these, the Alabama pipeline and different stuff like that. I don't think that was a bad idea. Getting you had Brandon Ingram and Zion from both from South Carolina, kind of down south. Like, they were going in the right direction. They just didn't fill in the other places, man. Like, you do all of that, and then you get a reserve guy like Cody Zeller. That shit don't fit at all. Like, it just, what are you trying to do here? You know what I mean? Like, you building a team, because Zion is somebody who you got to build some toughness with a player like Zion, man. You can't have a finesse team and your star player is Zion. You got to be willing to get dirty and gritty a little bit, because that's his game. So the role players got to embody that. I mean, you're going to have some specialists on the team. You're going to have your Jordan Hawkins and guys that specialize in area shooting or whatever. But you gotta, we need some crazy people here. So I know Joe Dumars is gonna do that. He gonna get some of them Detroit type bad boys guys of the heyday that's willing to roll up their sleeves and get dirty, man. I think Najee was that. We really miss having him. Been nice to keep him on the team, especially seeing what he's doing in Dallas. Really like Najee, but at $30 million, I don't know. But on a regular team, it wouldn't have really mattered. But our team, like, we just so cash strapped. But I think Joe can definitely fix that aspect of the Pels. But like I said, to end out, drafting is where I am nervous. So I don't know if we keep Bryce around and kind of make him. I mean, he said nothing ain't changed anyway with his new title.
I don't think so, DC. I think Joe Dumars comes in, he gonna bring his own people, man. I mean,
you don't think Bryce is like, because Bryce has credit for Yves Misi, and he discovered Trey Murphy, man.
That's
they,
fine.
They were talking to Trey Murphy way when he was before he went to Virginia, when he was with Rice.
That's fine,
so
bro. But I'm saying,
we keep him as something like on the squad. I think he has an ability that's usable.
I'm asking in terms of, like, Joe Dumas comes in here, man. The relationship, like David Griffin, is a guy that is an octopus. He's a control freak. Joe Dumas don't have a control freak style. He appoints guys to do jobs. He watches them. If they don't do their jobs, then he kind of steps in. He ain't a control freak octopus like this other guy is. So Bryson Graham will be counted on to become a NBA GM. He will have to do his job. And I just wonder if he can do that, and is as inexperienced as he is, because the guy is, I don't have any confidence in him. I mean, he didn't hold one press conference this year. He's an NBA general manager. He didn't do not one press conference to talk about nothing with his team. He's a general manager. He didn't hold. The only press conference he did was the press conference when he sat next to David Griffin. It almost looked like he gave him.
I'm just happy to be here.
Just happy to be here.
Well, nothing really changed except for the title.
Nothing. I'm still bringing them coffee. I'm still sweeping the floors, but I'm still an NBA general manager.
Bryce.
Dude didn't do nothing. He didn't do one press conference this whole year. That's not, in my opinion, that's not a general manager. Supposed to be leading or doing something. I understand he had something to do with some of the development of these players, but as a general manager, man, you need to do a lot more. You got to be vocal. You got to be out there. You got to be answering questions. You got to be visibly seen and talking to people, letting people know what's going on with this team. Don't just disappear. These people literally disappeared behind the scenes while the teams were falling through the floor, while all this stuff was happening. They literally hid from the Pelicans. The press conference you got from David Griffin was when they hired Kellen Moore as the Saints hired him as a head coach. He snuck in there and did a press conference the same day, knowing that he wouldn't be the big news story of the day. So incredibly conniving.
Pussy ass weasel.
None of this stuff works. We see all of that sneaky, underhanded crap that he does. Yeah, he just slimy. That's a slimy dude, signing contracts behind the scenes. 6 months later, they let it leak for one day, not allowing the press to talk about it. That's a weasel, man. This dude is a slimy. He's a slimy weasel, and that's why I call him the octopus, a control freak moron, whose personal traits will stop the team from winning. I've been said that. And look what's happened here. And then he pivots to the injury monster, not to bad coaching, not to bad preparation, not to him building the team correctly, and pivots to something that the Pelicans been dealing with for 5 years and using the same excuse over and over again. Like, you too stupid to realize, hey, man, you said that 5 years straight about this team struggling, about injuries. Nobody, and then you talk about everybody else. Denver, you talk about Boston. Did that stop any of these other teams from getting to the playoffs? The hell with championships. Just being a steady playoff team. Did it stop Miami? They had some stuff, but it didn't stop them from getting to the playoffs. It didn't stop all the
Miami dealt with injuries every year and still was getting to the damn Western Conference Finals and shit. With all type of people injured.
Just saying, DC, at the end of the year, man, at some point, that's not going to work. People are hip to the injury list. They done burned it. See, they done overused it to the point where it's not an effective weapon no more. You got to get up off your ass and do something now. Now you have to actually spend millions of dollars to fix your wretched health staff. You got to revamp it, hire better doctors. That's what I was saying on the coma. Enough is enough. We don't want to hear it. If you got injuries, go fire these doctors you got that's not helping you. Hire better doctors, get better technology. That's what the hell you do. That's how you fix the injury situation. You don't sit up here and then shift into the fact that, hey, man, it's a curse in the water, it's something in the water, something in the air. Man, that's spooky, that's stupid, unintelligent, dumb crap that we don't need to deal with. We deal with hardcore things here. You have injuries, get better doctors, get better technology, and watch how it goes away. Whoever you got doing it is not good enough. You need to get them on the body here, which is not new. They don't want to spend the money, so it's cheaper to sell you to the injury monster. And he don't blame nobody else. Cam Jordan, all these clowns get up here and they say the same damn thing. Injuries, but they don't talk about the shitty coaching. They don't talk about the bad preparation. They don't talk about the fact that they're not studying their playbooks. They're not preparing as well as they're supposed to do. They just pivot to something that can't fight back. So in the end,
I don't like that, man. I'm okay with you not talking about the other stuff if you're like, because I understand, them guys are limited in what they can say by them being on the team, and
If you're limited, DC, don't say nothing then.
that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I was getting to. Like just don't say anything. Like why do that? You know what I'm saying? Just don't say nothing. If you want to, be politically correct and say the right thing, you trying not to get cut or get your next contract, just shut the hell up about it. You ain't gotta say the phony stuff.
Why you gotta say that? You got your money. You get the game check.
Talk about what you want it to be, what you want them to do, the moves that you could do all that, and they're not gonna get mad. Don't start making excuses that we all know ain't good enough. Because you can't say that, it's the injuries with one breath, but in the next breath, especially for the Saints, they talking about next man up. Everything is next man up, the next man up mentality. Well, it was the injuries. I thought it was next man up. Which one is it? Because when it's next man up, you not going, let's say if you next man up and y'all successful, you ain't going to say, we were successful, but the injuries, we could have been better without the injuries. Nobody don't say that. They just say we were successful, right?
Well, that's what they're supposed to do.
So when you lose, they never say we're successful, but with the injuries, we could have been more successful. Or if you win the championship, you ain't gonna never hear this. We won the championship, but we wouldn't have won the championship without those injuries.
Oh, they don't say that.
You ain't gonna hear that?
Never hear that.
So if you're not gonna say that, you can't say it the other way. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's wrong to look at it like that. And also acknowledge, you got injuries, so it's going to be more difficult. You can't have the same expectations if the team is supremely injured. But for players to come out and talk like that, man, I never like hearing that because the players are always supposed to, or at least this the mind frame of what I come from when I start watching all this and fell in love with it and playing sports. The players always had a never say die attitude from the era I come from. And it showed on the field, like, man, they would have 2 minutes left in the game. They down by 2 touchdowns, or 2 minutes left in the game, and the team is down by 15 points. And them dudes still out there trying to get everything and like they gonna come back. And this wasn't, you had nights where that might have happened. But this was like an every night basis. This just was how people played the game. It ain't that way no more. I get that.
No. But on to that,
you can't use injuries as excuses.
Really and that's a known thing that professional athletes know, that when the season started, you're not, and that's a cardinal rule. You're never
out of it.
You're never supposed to use injuries as an excuse. When the league, when the year starts off, they say that. When by the time the year is over with, they use it. It's all because they use it to justify failure. They use it to justify because they don't tell the truth about, hey, this dumbass coach right here need to get better. He calls his adjustments was weak. His roster, the selections and adjustments was weak. He didn't scheme like he was supposed to. He got out coached on nights when he had his players. They're not going to say that. You have these people here that they're loyal to a fault, and they're not going to tell the truth totally. So they're going to keep it like what Jose Alvarado did. He's going to pivot to Willie Green and protect Willie Green. The hell telling you the truth.
I mean, like I said, you don't understand that or value a player being like. I mean,
I do not. I would rather. But
hold on. Wait. Let me ask you something though.
I don't, because it's not real.
We don't know what's real. He might know Willie Green. I know he know Willie Green fucking up, but
I know what's real.
If you on a team, right? Let's say me. Let's say me. Somebody run up on you in the street, and oh man, DC did a horrible job on the show, and I may have done a horrible job that night, right? You gonna sit there and like, yeah, you did do a horrible job, DC. To that person?
No,
but I'm just saying. No, I'm just making an example of if I'm rocking with you, I'm rocking with you. I value or I like people who are like that. Even if I don't like Willie Green and I know he need to be fired, I value, I guess, Jose's stance to some degree, to him being loyal to his guy, whether we like him or not, is all I'm saying.
All I'm saying is using your example, which that's not a good example for what you're saying. I get what you're saying, because if somebody ran up on me and said, man, DC did a terrible job on the show, I was like, well, what did he do that was terrible? Well, he said this, that, and the third, or whatever the case may be. I don't know what it depends on what the man was saying.
I mean, you gonna stand up for me just like I do for you, but regardless if I made a mistake or whatever, you're gonna use logic.
But I'm saying I'm gonna go right. That's what I do. That's you know me. I'm gonna I'm gonna break it down. I'm a question guy. Some say what did he do that was wrong? He said this and it was supposed to be that. All right. Well, the brother make mistakes. You know, that's just what it is. He made a mistake and said this word. It should have been this word. Hell, I mispronounce words and names all the time. Shit, it ain't a perfect science. But that don't deal with a guy that's coaching 82 games and everything that he do is on tape. Right, and it could be broken down schematically. You know, they got coaches out there that'll break down the film and see. A lot of times they're not even following the philosophy that he's teaching. They're not. They don't communicate well. They don't shoot. You know, they're not fundamentally sound on some of the things they're supposed to be in. And it happened even when they were healthy. It happened over and over and over again. And in some games they played better. Some games they would drop below, but a lot of games they didn't. They didn't do enough to sustain that before they started pivoting to losing these games. But it's not just this year. Everything we've seen over Willie Green, DC's been here for 4 years. Mm-hmm. So that's a lot. That's a long time. And NBA is built on wins and losses. And then DC this year, what really incensed everybody was the fact that, like I said, it's how you conduct yourself. If you are a team that's respectful. Like DC, you're not running around signing secret contracts and doing slimy shit, ducking and hiding from the support base and putting an inferior, stupid product on the court every night and then lying and saying there's injuries all the time. You're not doing that. You're actually doing everything you can to get it right. I'm saying that these people had this weird cult type thing going on where they were smiling and it was a house of cards, man. Handle your business. It's not hard. Like David Griffin DC had 3 attempts. He had kept Elvin Gentry. He fired Elvin Gentry after 1 year. He should have fired him from the get-go, find a coach. He fined Stan Van Gundy, who was sitting down coaching. I mean, talking about it. He wasn't coaching for years. You could have found a credible head coach. He missed out on that. Then he finds Willie Green, totally inexperienced. Willie Green, we give him a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. He did not progress like his counterparts. Like you see a Jamal Mosley, Charles Lee, some of the guys that started coaching around him. You've seen the production. You've seen the uptick in coaching. Willie Green regressed in coaching. He looked confused most nights. His rhetoric was the same, even when they had their players. He was confused. He was confused on Borrego's offense. He did not know how to run Borrego's offense. We know that. He was the last couple of years, he did the same thing with Borrego. He would get in his way with his defense. And the defense wasn't that good. They haphazard. They turned the ball over a lot. So like I said, man, the Pelicans, they wasn't a smart team. They wasn't constructed correctly. That's why they hurt. Because most night, like I said, it's stuff that could be fixed. The injury issue is not something that would just be the boogeyman under your bed that you can't do nothing about. No, the injury thing is actually something tangible you could fix, or you can limit it to a point where it don't impact your players. They just don't have the right medical people in there. They don't, and it's not just the Pelicans. It's the similar staff that's taking care of the Saints, and they're going through the same thing. That's how you know it's the medical staff. So it's not like you can say it's just this, that, and the third. No, the same issues they're having for the Pelicans is the same issues they're having with the New Orleans Saints that tie directly to the hospitals that they're running with, the health clinic. That's the problem. But yet, did they stop it? They just signed a new arrangement with them. Several months ago, we covered it on the show. How you signing arrangements with these people and your teams are healthy, they're not playing, and they're failing, and you blaming injuries. I wouldn't even bring that to light if they didn't keep blaming it. So you got to investigate it if it's that much of a problem. They're not doing nothing about it. So you signing on with them people lets me know you're not serious about nothing. How you blaming injuries, and your people, the Ashna people who run the hospital over there, is who you getting your health care from for these players, and they sit up here getting hurt, and you just read up with them. Come on, man. That's bull crap. So that let me know, man, y'all full of shit, man. How you sign with them people? They ain't no good. All your people are sitting up here hurt. The highest, I joked and call them the highest group of cheerleaders in the NBA. All piled up on there on the bench. They're cheering for a bunch of G League people. The silliest
you do your Mickey Loomis. Well, hold on there now, Big Q.
Hold on out there, hold on there, Buckle. Let me hold on.
They are number one in repairing all of those injuries, though, Big Q. So we had to re-up with Oshun. They do a great job fixing the players after they get injured.
How, Mickey? You start laughing. You ain't got no answers. Come on, DC.
I'm supposed to be Mickey. I can't. You got to do Mickey voice though. It's weird, bro. Because you got his voice down pat. I can't do Mickey voice.
Hold on there, DC. Hold on out there. Hold on now. Peace to Jamaica. Hold on. Let me say this. Hold on now. The reason why, hold on, it looks like that. I know it, but you can't trust your eyes. You know, you don't look beyond the results. What? Oh, no, hold on now. You don't look beyond the results.
Beyond the results, boy.
Don't look. You gotta look beyond that. All the failure, you look beyond that, and I promise you'll be all right. Yeah, get out of here. We're not doing that, bro. We've given the Pelicans have been hurt for at least 4 to 5 years.
Mickey gonna tell you.
Hold on now.
Based on the price of what it costs to fix those injuries and the timetable and what
that ain't gonna work.
When you put the percentages together. The Pelicans they actually have the number one medical repair facility based on what we pay per capita per player, and their ability to get them back out there in a very respectable time frame.
Oh my God! Hold on now. That's right. That's absolutely right, DC. That's why we're gonna hold on. We're gonna hold on to David Griffin. He's doing a fantastic job.
It's cheap and it's effective.
David Griffin. 67, 79, 90. So I mean, it's no, bro. It's not going to work. I mean, you can't use injuries as excuse. And listen, they're so stupid. They do it every year.
Derek Carr does though. He uses injuries.
That's why he's out of here. That's why they put him on the next thing. It's just no.
Derek Carr said he won't be traded. They said no. He said my shoulder hurt.
Lord help us, man. That's what we done been reduced to. I'm telling you, we gotta.
I hope you showed the people my mock draft on the Saints show.
I thought you was listening. I called it out, DC.
You did? I gotta go back and watch the show. Watch me look for my shout out.
You interrupted.
Some good intel, bro. You saw that? How you saw what I got? Shador Sanders and Amarion Hampton, bro.
I like that.
I think I did good on the back half of the draft too. I traded down, Big Q. I think I got us a draft pick too.
Yeah, you traded from 9 to 10. I seen what you did.
Still got a draft pick, man. Got us a 3rd round pick next year too.
What you do with Omarion? What you do with Kendre Miller?
With who?
With Kendre Miller.
Oh, you're always gonna need 2 running backs. Somebody gonna get hurt. You keep him around. I'm gonna keep him around. I
gave you a shout out.
I'm gonna let him fight for his money. If he earned it, I'm gonna pay him something respectable to keep him around. I'm gonna keep all 3 of them.
He said
AK, I love AK, dog. One of my favorite Saints ever. But AK get hurt, man. AK, he gonna show up in the games that matter. He'll play through injury and everything. But it's gonna be about 3 to 4 games a year where AK gonna be hurt, bro.
Well, he turns 30 this year, so the Hampton selection wasn't a bad.
So you get Hampton and you got Kendrick. That could be your new 1-2 punch when AK fading out.
That's a good one.
Still got Kendrick probably under contract for another couple of years before you got to pay him, right?
I like the Hampton move. I don't know if he'll be available at 2. He probably will. A lot of people.
Man, that boy was sitting there at the 4-day pick for me. I couldn't believe it.
Hey,
I rushed up to the podium.
Yeah, the Hamptons. Yeah, if you could find them there, that would be.
When you saw all them trades in my little mock draft thing, everybody wanted to trade in.
Well, I mean, listen, bro. All I can say, man, we're gonna see how it go, man. But in terms of the Pelicans, man, all I can say about this, DC, is that if Joe Dumars, if reports are the same, and listen, let me show this because I brought this up for the family. Y'all know I'm a man. I like to throw my history into the game, man. Here it is right here. This article, this is an old article right here that goes back to CBS. This is from, let me see, what was this at? Damn, they don't even have the.
That should be like 2018, 19, huh?
Yeah, I was trying to see if I could find the timestamp on it, and they don't have one. But the Pelicans, now this is from back in. The Pelicans have held meetings with former Pistons president of basketball operations in Louisiana native Joe Dumars to gauge his interest in joining their front office. An NBA source has told the New Orleans Times Picayune that the same source is claiming that nothing is imminent. One NBA executive has claimed that Dumars will be named president of the team within 2 weeks per Bleacher Report. Dumars is a longtime friend with Pelicans vice president of basketball operations, Mickey Loomis. So you know this was old. The contract of Pelicans general manager Dale Demps expires this summer. The team has yet to indicate if he will be asked back. He denied a report in mid-April that he and Coach Monty Williams were told that they'd be gone if they didn't make the playoffs, which they did make the playoffs. But the thing is this, when you talk about what happened with that Dale Demps, that, you know, he's a liar. Obviously, that was the truth. That the Pelicans did, that was Tom Benson. Tom Benson gave those guys an ultimatum because they were beefing. Monty Williams was there before Krusty Demps got there, and Demps and Monty didn't get along. So it wasn't as like what we seen with Denver, because those guys were actually doing some shit. They were actually winning. But Monty Williams did not respect Dale Demps, and Tom Benson assured Monty Williams that he would come back, that he would be able to come back and be the coach. Guess what? Dale Demps fired him and hired Elvin Gentry. And that's how we end up with Elvin Gentry, as opposed to how the Monty Williams era ended. So this is a little backdrop on information, but this is an old article, you know, kind of backing up what we was talking about here, is that the vice president or the VP job was created for Joe Dumars. And what ultimately occurred was that in the end of the day, they gave it to Dale Demps because of the money was bad. So, I mean, you said that you don't like his draft selections, DC, because of Darko Milicic. I get you on that.
No, I'm not saying I don't like all of his draft selections.
Well, hold on, I get you. Let me ask you this, before we get out of here. But listen, this is the thing I want to know. If Joe Dumars is, just saying that it is, not saying that it's not, just saying, for instance, if Joe Dumars is named the VP of Pelican basketball operations, give me 3 things that'll impact the team that Joe Dumars would do for the Pelicans if he did.
Honestly, get the job. I think the injuries would get fixed.
How so?
Joe Dumars is they cut from a different cloth, man. Like all that babying people, and I think they would take the advice of the medical staff, and he probably would bring in a more old school coach, right? And we know what old school coaches like to do. They like to practice, Q. The more these guys practice, and they actually would do more practices instead of less compared to other teams within reason, right? I know they cut out a lot of the practicing coaches can do, but we just saw it with Stan Van Gundy. Stan Van Gundy had these teams practicing more than probably other teams in the league, right? And he didn't do the thing like your boy Tibbs does, where he wears his players down with heavy minutes on top of them having to practice. So he had them practicing, and then, you know, the minutes allocation was reasonable. He just had a severe fantasy and fetish for Eric Bledsoe for some reason. But I think Joe Dumars will probably get a coach in there that he kind of more vibes with. You would probably have actual alpha as a coach, you know, a coach that's willing to put it on the line, man. Coach with some nuts. Let's just say that, you know, so that would be number 2. And I think that combines with number 1, right? And number 3, I stated earlier, it would be the culture of the team. Joe Dumars coming from here is not going to build a team that is not a good representation of the city. Even if they're not winning the most games that we think they should, it will be a team that we enjoy going out and watching because we have a connection to it. We got a connection to the type of players that are out there. We feel like we're a part of the team, like, you know, so the supporters are supposed to feel. It doesn't feel like such a disconnect. Just simple stuff like how long it took them to play New Orleans music in the arena, bro. Like, that's a layup. No diss to Wipe Me Down with Boosie and all of that. That's cool. We love that. That's a representation of Louisiana. You know, you play that enough. But how they playing Wipe Me Down, but they ain't playing nothing from Cash Money or No Limit, or some of the bounce songs. Or, you know, you go on and on with all the New Orleans artists. Like, You know, you start getting robbed 4-9 and you got currency up in there. Okay. But, like, why wasn't this happening? Why did it take so long? You know, like, it just
Is D1 in there?
Weird, bro.
Is D1 in there?
Nah, D1 not in there. He got to go to church on Sunday. But, you know, it's just so weird, bro. Like, the disconnect they have sometimes with the support base and what the culture is like in the city. Somebody like Joe Dumars, I'm not saying it would be perfect, but that wouldn't be a problem because he from here. And if he don't know, just somebody who from here, they know enough to put somebody in place who do know to get that part right. So you're going to see a culture completely shift, I would think. I don't know if that trickles down to like the talking heads or people we see who cover the team, but the actual team that goes out on the court will be a huge representation of the city, and they're gonna play with a lot more toughness and all that. You know, dudes getting punked on a daily. I don't think Joe Dumars would be able to build the team like that of dudes that, you know, don't fight back and we're going to turn the other cheek and, you know, Martin Luther King Green, you know, Willie Martin Luther King Green type persona. That ain't going to be what's here.
Nah, DC, we can't call a man that, man. That dude is, no company man like that. We're going to put him up there, man. But call him Martin Luther King, Willie Green. What is how you phrased it? Martin
Luther King Green.
No, that's an insult, brother. All right. Anyway,
he kind of look like him a little bit.
No, he don't.
Like he could be a cousin.
Nah, bro, the scary cousin to run away.
He the cousin that only saw like the Martin Luther King "I Have a Dream" speech. He ain't never hang out with Martin, and no Martin had that shotgun in the house and the rifles and all that. And he wasn't playing that that was for a march. You know what I'm saying? Willie didn't know the real Martin. He just knew what, you know, Martin was representing at that one point in time. He held on to that. You know,
he wasn't a D. He was in a defense, what they call a deacon of defense. He wasn't none of that because that's who was backing him up. Them old war veterans.
How you be a deacon of defense and you trying to keep money in your pocket? Don't you know it costs money to go to war, Willie?
I just gonna keep my water. He ain't about fighting nothing. That's
I don't know no good defensive players, no defensive coaches that don't have they border on possible anger issues. You know what I'm saying? You ever had a coach Q that was real good at defense, right? You know how they are. They fiery guys. They'll get in your face. They gonna cuss, and so you don't cuss, and you always happy and full of joy. But you create that defense.
That boy come from the Tony Dungy school of defense.
But even Tony Dungy had that cool, calm demeanor. But something about Tony Dungy eyes, though. Tony Dungy was ruthless, Q.
What?
Hey,
what?
Look at what he was putting out there on the field, and look at the type of coordinators that he had under him. You know, Tony Dungy had Mike Tomlin over there.
Yeah, Tomlin was bucking his eyes the whole damn time, too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, man, Tony Dungy put some dogs up under him, man, and taught a philosophy for them to go. He put the people with the attitude. He got them as the coordinators and stuff up under him. He didn't have an attitude like that, but, man, shit. Tony Dungy ain't take them damn starters out. Would be running up the score. It was all defense, score, touchdowns, stuff. Keep them out there.
Boy, that Tony
Dungy was nice, but like I'm saying, like as a coach, he was ruthless, bro.
Mike Tomlin will burn holes through your souls looking at you. All right,
you think Tony Dungy could get along with Mike Tomlin if he wasn't a little ruthless?
Well, Tony
Dungy, he was a big believer and, you know, a guy and all that stuff, and he said that nice stuff, man. That man was ruthless on the inside, bro. I'm telling you.
I don't know, DC.
You can't win like that and not BQ.
Yeah, well, he was winning at a high level, so
you can't win like that and not be, bro. he said the right thing in front of the mic, and I'm sure he had Christian principles that he tried to adhere to, just like a dude like Aeneas Williams or Aeneas. Might be messing his name up. Our boy played Aeneas.
Yeah, Aeneas
Right,
Williams.
very God-fearing man. He will hit the shit out of you on the football field.
Yeah, knock the devil out. Yeah, nobody about it.
He said, knock the devil out you, huh?
Knock the devil out of you. Aeneas Williams, he ball, man. But DJ,
let that Christian stuff fool you, bro. They got Christian warriors too, man.
They do have Christian warriors, DC.
Willie not one of them, though. He just played for the Warriors.
That's right. He was an assistant coach for the Warriors. All right, DJ, how you doing, man?
Tomlin be high as hell. What's up, DJ?
What's going on, people? How y'all doing?
I'm all right.
Good, bro. Yeah. What you think about the Pelicans, bro? What's gonna happen, man?
You saying it's for the front office or the roster?
All of it. What do you see happening for the off season?
We're gonna start with the front office first. Willie Green hopefully be fired tomorrow. David Griffin out the door. Who's next? I don't know. My question is, okay, we just signed Alfred Payton. You got DeJounte Murray, and you got Jose Alvarado. Now, what we gonna do with this fourth pick? I don't know. But me personally, I think we need a point guard. As far as the shooting guard, small forward, power forward, in the center, I would trade CJ because of Antonio Reeves and Jordan Hawkins. The small forward position, if you look at Herb Jones as a small forward, you can go that route. Trey Murphy, he's taking the place of Brandon Ingram, so that position is kind of sort of okay. The power forward position, which is you got Zion, Carlo Mekovic, he could play switch here and there. I would keep I don't know. That's a questionable. It's questionable with JRE. It's kind of questionable, but he played he played decent throughout the time where he did play. Keon Brooks, I would keep. What other guard we got that's sitting on the bench right now? But you go to the roster right quick because I don't have it pulled up right quick.
All right, hold tight, DJ. I'll pull it up.
Shit. I'm missing the guard. Hold on, I'm put it on big screen. Hold on, let's see. Come on, I hear you do that. Give me a second, y'all.
I mean, the guards, Alfred Payton, Jose Alvarado, CJ McCollum, DeJounte Murray, Lester Quinones, Antonio Reeves.
Okay.
Let me see. They go. Herb's a forward. Jordan Hawkins. Bruce Brown is a small forward. Brandon Boston is there as well as some of the guards.
I will keep him. Bruce Brown, he could go. I see him moving. Kelly Olynyk, they may re-sign him, but we really didn't get nothing for Brandon Ingram because if you're gonna let Bruce Brown go and keep Kelly Olynyk, I mean, what else you got for Brandon Ingram? Like, we really didn't get nothing for Brandon Ingram. So, with that being said, like I said, I don't know what we're going to do with this fourth pick. Me personally, I don't know. It's questionable. I mean, one of my picks did hit with the Carlo Mekovic. I've been telling y'all about him. And Yeah, we gonna see. So, like I said, shout out to Carlo Mekovic. I've been telling DC and Vicky about that because he is a stretch 5. I want to see what we're gonna do with this fourth pick. But other than that, I'm glad the season over with. This is the worst season in 20 years. We probably was in middle school, elementary school by the time the Pelicans had this much losses in the season. So with that being said, I mean I'm still a Pelican fan. So win, die, or draw. So let's have a better next season. I mean let's have
You Pelicans family, DJ. You ain't no fan. You family, man. Family, man.
I know y'all know me as
you in the building, man. You got real estate over there. You know what I'm saying?
I know y'all know me as
You're literally in the building too.
Right. talking about fan, man. You family, man.
It's fine. It's cool.
Blood, you putting sweat equity in the Pelicans, man.
DC, don't start. Don't start. I haven't went to a game none this season.
No.
So look, don't start.
You're just saving your money, brother. That's all. You're just saving your money.
Yeah.
That too. That too. But yeah, let's get everybody healthy. Zion, I mean, we can go. I mean, I know Stephen A. Smith and Kendrick Perkins and all them other ones. They talking about Zion, trade this, trade him. But we gotta look at it like this. You gotta look at Joel Embiid. He been in the league way before Zion, and look at him. Yeah, other superstar that's injury prone, and so we gotta look at it like that. We gotta do better in the front office first before we get the team and roster accentuating. So with that being said, good luck to Willie Green and David Griffin to wherever they go to. DeJounte, Z, CJ, and shout out to Yves Mason. He developed. I mean, he developing a mid range, so he should somewhat stretch the flow. Hopefully next season. But everybody who's injury prone, who's injured, get well, and hopefully we'll have a better, strong season next season, as well as Herb Jones. So that being said, I don't know what DC went at, but y'all probably about to go get out of here. With that being said, if anybody come at you with a Pelican fan, you tell them in a New Orleans Pelicans accent to get the flock out of here and go flock yourself.
All right, DJ. Shout out to my brother DJ, man. Thank you, DJ. Appreciate you, man, as always, man. Much love, man. We'll be hollering at you later, my brother.
Thank you.
All right, that's DJ, man. Be keeping it real, dropping some science on them. Man, listen, man. Fam, all I can tell you, man, it's been a rough season, man. We got some more stuff coming up next week. More reports, more things breaking down the Pelicans, man, taking a look. And I will be back tomorrow, fam, to be honest with you. We'll be back tomorrow dealing with the team because y'all know it's going to be something happening this week with the Pelicans. Not making it. We'll hear from them. We'll get the word on what happens with Willie Green because somebody got to go. We see these reports about what's going on. For them to be reaching back to the Joe Dumars bag, fam, we talked about this for years on the Pelican postgame report. I thought that move by Tom Benson not bringing Joe Dumars in here was catastrophic because it set the team back for years. They didn't, Dale Demps took over the team. They bottomed out. They ended up firing him anyway. They put David Griffin on top of the team. He's had 6 years, had 2 playoff appearances in 6 years. That's not good. He put his money in, his faith in Willie Green. He didn't improve the health staff dramatically enough to call the injuries. And all we've gotten is disappointed, with him, how he's conducted himself as a general manager. He's proven to be slimy, wormy, hiring people that's less or less experienced than him so he can manipulate and control them. We've seen all of that, done called all of that stuff out. And hopefully, like I said, I ain't gonna say hopefully, but I desire for David Griffin to be terminated. I mean, literally not, taken from this planet, but also ultimately just removed from I'll settle for him being kicked out of the building, told that he's no longer needed. Hiring Joe Dumars would bring respectability to the Pelicans. It would, because Joe Dumars is a guy, he's a Hall of Fame basketball player that won multiple championships with gritty defense. Michael Jordan respects him and talks about him as one of the toughest defenders that he had to go against, besides people like Ron Harper, of course. But he's also a guy that won as an executive. He went to Detroit and won a championship with the Pistons. He turned them, and Detroit was not doing so well, and Joe Dumars had a few mishaps draft-wise with Darko Milicic. But outside of that, he did a wonderful job. He brought a championship to Detroit and made them respectable. Ultimately, it faded, but hey, like I said, man, just being able to get a respected basketball mind like Joe Dumars here, and that just changes the aura of the team, man, for real. Because I know Joe Dumars would then assemble a team of people that will come in here with respect, and not all of this gobbledygook about being a basketball family and all that. Miss me with all of that. This is a business, man. I don't care if Jose Alvarado gets along with Herb Jones. You see what I'm saying? Does it really matter if you're 21 and 60, whatever? It doesn't matter if they cool. Not to me. I don't want cool losers on my team, bro. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't care if you get along with that guy. If you let winning be the glue that keeps the team together, not the losing and all that. And I know that if you are building a culture of winning, and you see them working there, what's off every game, but they might come up short, we can live with that because we see you putting the effort in. But to understand and know that Willie Green is not really, he's not an NBA head coach. He's not going to get better than what he is right now. He's just not. He's not a good strategist. He's not. He's just, his coaching, his adjustments suck. His timing suck. His lineups suck at time. When guys are rolling, he switches the wrong people out. He don't know how to work Borrego's offense in with his defense. It's just all of that, man. I'm tired of that. It's been 4 years. 4 years is enough time for it's 6 for David Griffin, 4 for Willie Green. That's enough. That's enough. 1 year. I mean, him 49 wins last year. Well, it wasn't for the injuries. What the hell with that? Fix the staff. I'm done with all that, man. These people done had it. It's time to move somebody else in here. Listen. Brandon Ingram. When it all comes down, the Brandon Ingram trade will be. What you got for that? Bruce Brown, like I said, man, it's just how he handled that whole situation from pillar to post. It's just ridiculous, man. It just really is. And I'm just sick of it. We had players here. We couldn't get them on the same page. The timeline is over with. Whoever you put here, it didn't work. The BI thing didn't work with Zion. Let's get these guys out. Let's get this stuff fixed and move forward. I don't think that a guy like Joe Dumars or any respectable, hell, I'll take a guy from OKC. Who's the assistant vice president or whatever of OKC? I'll take him here. Hell, I'll go to Boston and take whoever the assistant VP is and bring him here. Get somebody from an organization that knows how to win. This shit's not hard. It's not hard. Go to OKC, go to Boston, and go get whoever the assistant VP is and make him the guy. It's not hard. Go get these guys and you bring them here. Get a coach, bring coaches from those organizations. Let them install that culture here. Let them install the toughness. None of this soft, weak, non-aggressive bull crap that Willie Green got going on. That's all up on posted on the practice facility about togetherness and all this other gobbledygook, non-aggressive verbiage. When you play in a physical NBA and Draymond Green and what's his face from Jimmy Butler and all these guys pushing you around because they know you're a weakling. All you have to do to beat the Pelicans is to push on them and rough them up a little bit, and that throws them all out of their game. I'm sick of all of that. I'm done with that. That's not the image of this region. That's not the image of the region. I'm born and raised here, man. I'm telling you, this team don't behave like the energy of the region in which it plays in. It's blue collar, it's hard working. We don't take no shit. That's the bottom line. This team don't play like that. This coach don't think like that. This guy from the Detroit, he must be from the soft side of Detroit because he don't exhibit no hardcore qualities. His team's pushovers. They're soft. They're frail. Stop me if I'm not telling the truth. That's the mindset of this team. They're frail. They're weak. And I'm tired of that, man. I'm sick of these folks. We need somebody here that's going to establish toughness and intelligence. How about that? Would you love a tough ass intelligent team? I know I would. That's OKC. That's Boston. Not whatever you trying to do with Golden State. Take 43-point shots every night. And more than half of the shots are stupid ass shots. Unintelligent 3-point shots. Come on, man. Switching. We're going to switch every damn thing. And then Jose Alvarado switched from a 2-guard and then he switches to the center and he's a 6'1" guard guarding a 7-footer. Is that good basketball? But he never say nothing about it. You can't operate a switching system if it switches you in a non-favorable position that helps your adversary. That's stupid. He don't even see that. He don't do none of that. He just sit up there with his arms folded with that big ass nose. Well, guess what? Stick that big son bitch in the unemployment office. That's what you do. Because we tired of that, man. I'm sick of all of these fools with this. This stuff is not hard. We've been saying this for years, man. I'm done with it. Anyway, and speaking of, and Heffler says to not hire Joe. If Joe is better than what's his face, David Griffin. We don't need a politician. The guy got a political science degree, I think. He got a political science. It's a politician. It's a bullshit artist. That's why he talks like that. Guy's out here he got a political science degree. What does he know about basketball? I mean, he got the championship was because of LeBron. LeBron went back to Cleveland and told him, get this guy, get this guy, get this guy, get this guy. And Dan Gilbert, who runs the team, told David Griffin, you better do it. He said that he hated doing that. What, you hated winning? Because you damn sure couldn't do it by yourself, but he'll take full credit for that championship, even though LeBron told him what to do. Man, get out of here with that bullshit. I know what time it is. I know when I'm looking at a con man and a flim-flam artist, man. You ain't got a plan. Every year it's the same nonsense, and then they're not learning. And this is weak facade over the team about, hey, we are togetherness and all. Get out of here with that, man. Get out of here. All right. So anyway, man, listen. At the end of the day, man, we need a tough, intelligent team. That's what I want. A tough ass, intelligent team. That's what you need to win in the NBA. And Willie Green is too soft. His philosophy is soft. And he's got a soft general manager. You got a soft ass VP. These guys are soft, man. These are soggy people, man. And I'm sick of them. They all soggy ass people. They're not winning. They're not doing nothing. And all they do is come up with excuses on why the team is failing year after year. Team been hurt for 5 damn years and they still ain't fixing it. We talking about giving them more time. Man, the hell with that. Y'all got to go. All y'all, man. We sick of this. And then they got the nerve on the back end to try to come at you for a new stadium. So look out for that too. And they're raising the prices on you. They're raising the prices on these tickets for the Pelicans and the Saints, and these teams both stink. How do you justify that? Man, come on, man. Enough is enough, man. We don't let them make it enough. We got to stand for something or fall for everything, bro. All right. Slim says, should there have been breaking news by now of Griffin, Willie Green? Nah, bro. Probably the Pelicans move slow. We know that, bro. So this is true talk, man. I'm just saying. I said, fam, I covered the Pelicans for what? Over a decade now. You've been on the New Orleans basketball for a decade. The history and everything with this team, fam, you ain't just talking to a guy that's been doing it for a couple of years. I've been doing this. And I'm just absolutely just outdone by all of this stuff. People pretend like they building pyramids on the moon or something. I just don't understand how they complicate everything. How do you complicate everything? This is basketball and it's copycat anyway. All you do is copy off the other team. You copy off of Boston. You copy off OKC. How did they make it so difficult? Whatever they're doing, you do. It's as simple as that. As simple as that. Whatever they're doing with their health system, you do it. Whatever Boston doing with their health system, you do it. Whatever they're doing with their coaches, you do it. You get a coach from over there. You get a VP from over there. From teams that have a repetitive culture of winning, they're always relevant. They got a key. They got a jewel. They got something that you don't have, and you should be reaching for those people. And Brand, this is not hard, man. That's how a Detroit Piston team that was the worst team in the NBA last year can go from where they were to a potential playoff team this year, or a play-in team. I think they're in the play-in. That's crazy. The same with Houston. Houston wasn't winning like that. They got a good coach there, and look what Houston doing. Well, golly, you mean to tell me people can change a head coach and get a guy here, and then next thing you know, they winning? And the guy that turned the Pistons around, he was sitting up here last year as the general manager, being suffocated by David Griffin. How did that happen? How do you go to Detroit and turn Detroit around in 1 year? And look how they playing up there. And they got an identity. We had that guy here for 3 years. Why didn't we show that skill here? That's because of that octopus. Getting all in this way. I told y'all, man. So anyway, we're going to see what it's look. Shout out to Stacy. What's up, Reed? Let me give y'all a few shout outs in the building. Shout out to all the family members. Hit the like button for me. Strider, Kevin, I see you, fan. Hoffa, Molly Mall, Michael. Big ups to you, man. Pelicans, Nola, I see you, fam. Brother Don is in this thing. KB Free, shout out to you, man. Appreciate you. What's up, Jaden? Shout out to you as well. Big ups to y'all, man. Appreciate y'all showing some love. Reed, shout out to you too, Reed. You all good, brother. Appreciate you. Stacy, much love, my brother. Yeah. So it's just one of those things, man, where you can see I'm upset, but I'm happy at the same time that this is over with. Fam, this is the worst season of coverage I ever had. It was a frustrating, terrible, stinking, rotten year of basketball for the Pelicans, I must say. And I hear some of these people when they go off the broadcast, we appreciate this, that, and the third. Fam, listen, it's just a job to them to cover it, because a lot of times they're not really a support of the team like you are. Like, you got your heart and soul mended into it. So when they lose, you feel it. When they win, you feel it. See, it's a difference. It's a job to some. It's just a job to me. Hell, if they put me on another assignment, I cover another team. It don't make me no difference. But that I don't change coats and clothes like that. This is my squad. I rock with my squad. I'm critical of my squad because I want them to win, and I want them to do it right. And I know I got a bully pulpit at times, but sometimes you got to be like that. Sometimes the truth ain't gentle. Sometimes the truth comes bluntly. You know, it's gentle for those who got tender ears, but if you are hard head, it's gonna beat you upside your hard head. That's what it's gonna do. So that's just what it is. What's up, Hemisphere? Shout out to you. Denzel says octopus are extremely intelligent. It's disrespectful. That's right, Denzel. My bad, brother. I'm gonna have to apologize to all octopuses everywhere for putting David Griffin in that group. My bad, brother. He says octopi are extremely intelligent. It is disrespectful to octopi to call Griffin an octopus. You're absolutely right, bro. All right, bro. You're right, sir. I pulled that back. Because he's slimy as hell too, brother. I ain't gonna lie. That's a slimy, bro. But listen, whatever happened, we gonna cover it, man. But listen, just a word from PPR here, man, before we close out the regular season, man. A full season. We've been here from game 1 to game whatever this is. And boy, oh boy, all I want to say at this last broadcast of the regular season is that this is my analysis. Y'all can consider this my end of this regular season analysis on what we've seen for this year. Y'all just heard it. Now, what I would prefer to happen going forward is simply this. There needs to be leadership, credible, whether it's Joe Dumars or any other respected or credible executive or person from an established organization like the Boston Celtics or the OKC Thunder who have a reputation of success. We need to look at them and bring those people here. That is my desire, and that needs to happen at the administrative level. I know I can't ask for a lot from the Pelicans because they're extremely unimaginative. I've said countless times about the Saints and the Pelicans, how their ran is antiquated. They should have more of a group approach as opposed to have one guy there operating, because if the one guy has issues like the guy we have, then the team doesn't go anywhere. Because what if you have a guy there that's insecure in his personality like the guy we have here and likes to hire weak people around him so he can manipulate them? That's what we got going on here. And I'm not saying that about Swin, because the only person on high that I like out of the organization is Swin Cash. I think Swin Cash is about the business. That's just what I know about her. I think she is extremely intelligent. I think she's a winner. She won at the high school level, the college level, the pro level, and she is in the Hall of Fame she's a Hall of Famer. So that they got that part of the game right, but she ain't in the position of personnel decisions like David Griffin is. David Griffin don't know how to dribble a ball. I bet you if you stuck a pistol to him and told him you don't take this shot, we're gonna get you on the out of here, he'll miss that shot. He can't. This guy don't know nothing about no basketball, man. He don't know how to dribble a ball, but he can control people that do. My thing is, my perspective is to get people that are basketball people, not people that are politicians that happen to be in the basketball world. Let's get somebody that has that degree of basket. Even though Trajan Langdon would have made a really good VP, because Langdon played in the pros. He understands the realm of the game, the understanding the basketball world. He knows how to finagle and move. He's not a politician, because a lot of times David Griffin is insecure. He knows he can't dribble a ball. So what he does is he think he can flim-flam his way into a conversation about basketball by over talking you or spreading a bunch of useless facts. Like, I'm not going to look right through that and see you're not really saying anything of substance. That you're just a big damn word salad person. But in the end, I desire him to be removed. I desire Willie Green to be moved, and I desire Bryson Graham to be removed, because these people are not contributing to long-term success and respectability. So I desire the Pelicans to go and find a VP and let him find his own general manager and his own coach. You hire the right VP and let him hire his own people to run the team the way he needs to. So outside of that, go to places where respectable, where there's a repetitive culture of winning, whether that's Miami, Boston, OKC, wherever there is a repetitive culture of winning, let's go there and get those guys and bring them here. Very simple. Very simple. It doesn't make, just get these other guys out of the way and let the new VP hire his entire staff and coach. That's how we need to do, fam. And let's start with just that and go from there, man. And then after that, let's really take a good look at improving the health staff. Like, really spend some money, bring some top people in here and terraform this whole thing with the medical staff. I'm sick of the injury bug. I'm sick of this nonsense about injuries. You're not committing enough money and resources toward fixing the problem. We really need to attack it wholeheartedly, like go at it and wipe whoever these people are. We need to get them on up out of here and bring new people, top people of their field. It's going to be expensive, but you have tens of millions of dollars in this company. Pelicans worth what, $3+ billion? So at the end of the day, man, it's all can be fixed by money. All could be fixed by the right decision. We don't have to suffer through seasons where is just blaming injuries for everything. Like, we don't have no power over the injury thing, when everybody else doesn't seem to have as many injuries. That's you. Your staff sucks. So in the end, that's some of the stuff that I desire. Will the Pelicans do it? We'll see. Reports are saying that David Griffin's in trouble. We know Willie Green's in trouble. You can't go through this season with 21 wins, and then you see Mike Malone and you see Taylor Jenkins and you see even Mike Brown get fired, and they were winning, and Willie Green gets to keep his job. Oh, no. And the general manager, the GM of the Denver Nuggets, got fired too. and these other guys can't lose their jobs? Where they do that at? Anyway, that's my spiel, man. With that being said, what's up? What's happening? What's going on with your Young City 9, man? Big ups to you. I see you, brother. What's up, Tasha? Says Q the fan. I'm glad the season is over for us too. Yeah, y'all did a little bit better than us, but still in all, man, it's been a horrendous season, man. I took a lot of joy out of talking to you guys and chilling with you guys on a semi-daily basis about the team. But in the end, it was a really stink season, man. Arthur Nick, shout out to you, fam. Appreciate you for being in the live, man. All right, so see why you leaving. I mean, it's the end of the show, my brother. It's time to roll. It's 5-hour broadcast to the Dome, man. It's time to call it in. But listen, man, Stacy said don't end it. Nah, that's it, fam. I done emptied out, man. I done put it on out there. So that's my desires for the off season, because that starts tomorrow. This week will be a very interesting week. We'll learn all of the stuff and see if the rumors are true about David Griffin being in trouble because he needs to go. Willie Green's had 4 years. He needs to go, and we need to find some respectable people to bring here. They had their time. It's not like we hadn't given them shot. We gave this man been here for 6 years, and this other clown been here for 4 years. These guys have had 6 and 4 years, fam. We're not that bad where we need 3 or 4 year bills. The team ain't that bad. It ain't a burnt out ass team. They have people here. They're not a burnt out team. They got the talent. So it shouldn't be a 4 year bill to make them respectable. Hell, it'll be like what it was with Detroit. You turn them around in a year. Hell, it'll be like it was with Houston. Or even Orlando. Orlando had a steady rise with Coach Mosley. So, I mean, there's stuff where you can look at and see coaches turn it around the next year because the talent is there. Is usually the coach doesn't know how to use the talent. He's not a good coach. You can't have great coaches like Coach Malone and Taylor Jenkins out here getting fired, and they're their franchise's most winning coaches. Malone is the all-time winningest coach for the Denver Nuggets, won a championship 2 years ago. Taylor Jenkins is the all-time winningest coach of the Memphis Grizzlies. They're in the street, and Willie Green is still here. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. It'll probably be tomorrow there, Stacey. We're going to probably put something together for you tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see what's going on because there'll be some news sometime this week. You guys just hit the notification bells on that. But I just want to give you guys a shout out, man, for going through this. PPR, another regular season of PPR come to a close, man. It's been a tumultuous and really crazy up and down season. But what made it worth the while is you guys showing up every night, representing the flock and nation. Much love to you guys. Respect to you guys because you guys are what's happening. So thank you guys. But we'll be back next week, man, with more Pelican talk, man, and we'll see what happens as the offseason officially starts for the New Orleans Pelicans after a disastrous, terrible stink year in which the Pelicans are 21-61. They finished the year on a 8-game losing streak. Before I go, let me look at the Tankathon to see where the Pelicans landed in the NBA Tankathon. Hold on, fam. Let me put that on screen for you guys so y'all can see where the Pelicans end in the Tankathon. 21-6. Okay, here we go. Here go on screen, fam, to put it on screen for you guys. The Tankathon. Utah 17-65, Washington 18-64, Charlotte's 19-63, and the Pelicans right there. You can see them right there, fam. The New Orleans Pelicans listed at what, 21-61? Wow. Oh, wow. Anyway, that positions them right there. So they penciled in and stuck at the 4th position of the lottery. We'll see if it makes a difference when the draft rolls around. We'll see what the NBA lottery during the playoffs. They do the lottery system, and we'll find exactly where the Pelicans will flow or fall in the lottery. And we'll see if we can get one of the top 3 players coming up for next season. So anyway, with that being said, I'm gonna get ready to get out on that. I appreciate all of y'all once again. Much love to the Pell Nation, man, and we'll see you next week. Go Pels, peace.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
Perfect. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that. Birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. Ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a Pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumping where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the ref just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly Pelican, fly Pelican, fly Pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a Pelican forever. Pelican forever.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who That Too.